Hey everyone, welcome to episode 294 of Synth Geekery, streaming you, that's a new one, streaming to you live from Perth, Western Australia. It's a Saturday night, it's the 3rd of May. Wow, we're in May already. Cooking through the year. We've got the same Prime Minister in Australia, apparently. We've just had an election today. So some people might be sad about that, some people might be happy, and some people, like me, absolutely don't give a toss. So, because really they're just puppets. Next, we are going to do a show about this stuff, about synthesizers and drum machines and sequencers and samplers and synths that lie on the floor for weeks and don't get used. No, eurorack, modular, and anything. Music technology is kind of what we do. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it. Stick around. We do have a cool segment at the end where if you actually do have a question, you can ask us. It's called Ask Us Anything or Saturday Sonority. So do check that out. We have lots of cool regular segments like the Synth Quiz, which is a new one. So hopefully you can play that and have some fun. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting. You guys can work out the rest because most of you guys have been watching the show for years anyway. So if you are new, though, do sort of jump into chat and say good day. I just wanted to quickly introduce the brains of the show because this top left-hand square is definitely brainless. The rest of them are all brainy. So we've got Daren to my right, Andy to my far right, top right-hand corner is Andy. Down below is Ian, and in the middle in the square next to the chatties is Chris. So those guys are going to introduce themselves formally, informally through the show, but formally at the How's Your Week Been section, which happens just sort of towards the middle to the end of the show, somewhere around there. Anyway, people seem to enjoy it like that, I believe, so we'll keep it that way for now until someone whinges. Right. What can we do? We got a topic this week, and hopefully we can get to it. I don't really want to sort of go crazy because we actually do have quite a lot to get through this show. We've got a new product to show you, which got shipped in by Speedy DHL courier so that I can actually show it to you guys for this show. It's actually it's already been released, but it's actually kind of like an exclusive. Only a few people in the world have got one, and luckily I'm one. So I think you guys will be interested in it because it has a very, very cool history that it hooks into, and I think a lot of you will dig that, and it'll tie you into some modernness at the same time. So that's the product. I won't tell you what it is until we get to the news section, so you're going to have to wait probably about 15 minutes. You'll get to find out what it is then. What else? We're going to do that topic, which I said in Saturday Sonority, which is what's your favourite patch? Hopefully we get time to do that. I've been trying to do it last 2 shows in a row. Just didn't get there. And no, at this time of the year, it's so busy with products coming out, especially with Super Booth, about a week away. Lots of people are already catching planes and flights and trains and stuff, getting themselves over there early. So next week is kind of going to be busy. But as you know, they're slipping products out into our faces for the last God knows how many weeks. And I feel like brace yourself for next week because it's going to be huge from a few things that I know and a few things that I'm kind of guessing. So, and a few rumors that have been going around as well. But anyway, at least with this week, it's going to be relatively quiet compared to next week, so brace yourself. What can you do? You guys can click like, subscribe, all that sort of YouTube stuff if you're on YouTube. If you are on Twitch, which we stream live on, say g'day in Twitch. Do give us a follow. I'm still trying to get to that illustrious 50 followers. I don't know where we're at the moment. I think it's nowhere near it. I probably could even turn it on. Follower goal. Yeah, let's turn it on for a sec. Where are we? Show in horizontal. There you go. Yeah, we're still at 19. So it'd be nice if you could get some more followers on Twitch. Do shout out on Twitch if you're there. We are also streaming on Facebook Live and on Trovo and what else? TikTok. Still, although I got another warning last week when I streamed saying that I wasn't doing original content. I'm like, what? Apparently it's apparently a really stupid thing with their algorithm. So a lot of people have been getting it. Anyway, it is original content if you're watching TikTok. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Right. What can we do? We can probably start getting on with the show. Don't forget to do super chats if you want to sort of interrupt the show. It will pop up on the screen and it will show you what your message is. We also are doing the Zoom calls. So Zoom calls are somewhere. God, I always forget which button it is. There's your Zoom calls. bit.ly/Ranzee Zoom. I will put the link. Well, I think chatbot's running, isn't it? Is chatbot running? Yay, chatbot's running. So it will remind you. It will definitely remind you. But let me pin the last one. Zoom is pinned, so if you forget, there's the link for Zoom. Nobody is in Zoom, is there? Nobody? Where are we? Where's my Zoom thing gone? Gosh, I've got so many windows open. My computer's probably going to crash. Yeah, no one's in Zoom yet. But do remember, if you do join Zoom now, you'll get to do the reaction stuff when we get through the different segments, and that's pretty cool. Whoa, what was that? Yeah, so what should we do? What should we do first? I know what we'll do first.
Jokes. Let's do jokes.
Well, I might do this before we do jokes. Indeed, it's synth quiz time. And if you haven't got a pen and paper handy, because we still use pen and papers, do you know that? Do you actually know how to write on a paper? These days, people just do that stuff, right? Ask Daren. No, if you do want to use your brain and memory and stuff, you could try that. Let's introduce you to the first clue for the synth quiz. It is. That's not it.
No, it's last week's, isn't it?
That's last week's.
Last time, yeah.
Let's refresh it. No, it's not working. 1 sec. Why has that disappeared? And that is weird. Data source needs to be refreshed. There we go. All I had to do was click on it and open it. And yeah, let me guess, I have to do it for every single one of these. Are you kidding me? You are kidding me, aren't you? Come on. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I guarantee you every single one of these needs to be refreshed. What the hell? Oh, you've got to click OK. If you don't click OK, it's not OK. And OK. All right, I feel like we're missing one. What the hell? Hang on, something's really bad. Anyway, I could probably give you... where are we? Synth quiz. No, the first one is not correct. Let's try this again. Oh my god, this is like a train wreck. Row 1. Manage. No, you guys have got this wrong. That's what I want. There. Yay, that's correct now. Yep. No, it still says the wrong word. What the
flip?
Time for Ranzee's rant.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Are you serious? It wants me to put a row above. I know what I've done wrong. This is a spreadsheet problem, boys.
We often have those problems when we get older.
Let's try it again. Far out. I'm going to be...
Speak for yourself, Chris.
I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
It still says the wrong word. I'm getting angry. Okay, why don't I just give it to you, and instead of me showing you on the thing. It's the first word is lag. L-A-G, lag. So by the time you probably had time to go and...
How appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, it's working now. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Microsoft, for showing me the first clue. There it is. Right. It's working. What the hell? That was terrible. Anyway, don't rely on Google Sheets.
Wait a minute. You're surprised you have a problem with Microsoft?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's your first clue. Be happy, people. You've got a clue. All right.
You need Clippy to help you.
We will do this.
Oh, Clippy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Hey, kids, what time is it?
It's time for a house on your watch.
I remember seeing those.
Yeah. Don't know why it's showing that one for the first one, but anyway, we'll roll with it. Actually, why don't we refresh this? Maybe it's not refreshed it properly. No, it's going to be stupid like that and play the last one first. All right, there we go. We're going to go back to the watch. Wow, it's been so bad today. Okay, the first one is eventually the box of obsolete cables gained consciousness and killed you all. There you go. If you can't see it, there it is. Congrats to Off the Mark. Well done, Mark. Good cartoon. Love it. We'll be borrowing it. Thanks, mate. The next one is...
box of sorry, go on. I was just going to say my box of conscious leads is down there. So I go.
Your box of consciousness is down there.
It's conscious.
It's what you meant to say.
It is, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say, yeah.
By the way, just while we are just reading this one, I love your mixes. You are a great mix engineer. And then you're looking good too. Yes, indeed. Wow. You're a handsome young fella. By the way, just so you know, underneath, actually, Chris, just point below yourself. As he points, boom, look at these flash. You guys can join us on Zoom in those 3 spots. Don't worry, I can fit 100 people in. But anyway, let's keep going. The next one is, do you know someone over 50 who collects synths? Well, of course. It's me.
Very good, yes.
I like that. That's a good one. And then we've got this one. May I offer some feedback? JX3D, you're a funny man. I'll just make that bigger so you can see it. Thanks for JX for sending that one in as well.
That's great, actually.
That is a great one. Great. Right, and I think we're back to the watch. Now, the watch actually technically is the last one, so I do apologise. So when we're doing our little poll, which I will launch right now, because
numbers are off now.
So 0 is the obsolete box, 1 is I love yourself, 2 is over 50s collector, 3 is feedback, and 4 is the synth watch. Did that work? Did it actually? Yeah, it did spew that out in chat. Yay! So put your votes in, people. Exclamation mark, vote, space, and the number that corresponds to your lovely guess. Oh, dear.
Do you remember that guy that was making a serious attempt at a synth watch and then he abandoned it?
I do.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He just got abandoned pretty quickly because everyone laughed at him. Because every time, like, seriously though, Andy, every time, if he ever walked into a room, I'd be playing that.
Say, kids, what time is it?
Every time. Just to annoy him. Okay, some votes have come in. So, how many people were on the stream? About 50 odd. All right, cool. Come on, guys. Jump into chat and vote. If you're on Twitch, you can vote as well. If you're on TikTok, I don't think you can vote, sorry. I think it only works in either YouTube or Twitch, or maybe just YouTube. Doesn't matter. It's not personal. Don't get upset, okay? It's okay. It's just the technology hasn't made it to TikTok yet. I know it sucks. I know, because you're all vertical and everything. You like the portrait. You don't like the landscape. I get it.
When I saw Obi-Wan Kenobi there, I was thinking of a Behringer one. These are not the synths you're looking for. So.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Well, anyway, while the votes are coming in, I think, we'll let a couple more come in. We'll do the news. Oh, it remembered that Daren wasn't here last week. Okay, I'll fix that. It's weird how sometimes it remembers stuff and sometimes it doesn't. I swear to God, there's a gremlin in this machine. Layers. Oh, look at that. And then Daren is back now. Hooray! Right. In fact, this product has done exactly what the synth quiz was doing before. Jumbler. So, oh my God. Guys, all seriousness, make noise. And by the way, the title is incorrect. for some weird reason. So let's fix that as well. Or should I even bother? I mean, God, it's just going to be a nightmare, this whole show, isn't it? Where is my titles? The news title. There it is there. Okay. Data source. Manage. And why is it showing that picture first? Okay, I tell you what. Why don't we just ignore that picture?
Titles. Oh.
These are not the titles you're looking for.
These are not the titles you're looking for.
Yeah.
Use the force.
Yes, this is very interesting. We have a picture missing. We have a technical... Oh, it's WebP, isn't it?
Oh, of course, it's the WebP.
It's a WebP picture.
We just love WebP.
You need a little program that goes around looking for them and converting them for you automatically.
Yeah.
I probably could
into a
write...
GIF.
To be honest, I probably could write it, but I just couldn't be asked because it would, I'm just going to be doing work on something that really pisses me off. And that's going to be an interesting thing to do, isn't it? Not? Okay, yes. Give me a sec, guys. I'm making a JPEG. I know it's exciting. I know, because you've only watched the show for the first time and you're thinking, what the... And,
still don't know why I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. Live stream, news folder. There it is. Why does old Windows programs have really bad navigation implementation?
And while Ranzee, while you're sorting that out, the little bots just put into the Ranzee shop fourth wall. Here is the merch that
let's do that.
I bought on Sunday, turned up Thursday. Absolutely brilliant. Great T-shirt.
Yeah, they're
very
good.
reasonably priced as well.
Bought on Sunday, turned up Thursday. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is so quick.
That's
it's
impressive.
great. It feels really good, actually. It's good material.
Very nice.
So,
I like the
go.
logo on it.
I do too, actually. Yeah. Wonder who? That's great.
The merch link was in the chat a couple of seconds ago, if you are interested. That is the correct image. We'll get to the jumbler in a sec. Sneak peek for that. We are going to be looking at this. This is the new product that I wanted to launch. It is the 4XXX compressor. And if you've never been in the music industry, you'll be thinking, what the? But if you have been in the music industry, you should know exactly what a 4000 compressor is. And if you want me to tell you, okay, I'll tell you. It's back in the 80s. And they're still around, by the way. It's not like these are old. Well, they have been around forever. Back in the 80s, there's a famous British console called the SSL, and they had the 4000 glue compressor. Here's a glue compressor. And this is a feedback modules recreation, faithful rendition. It's not really like tit for tat, but yeah. And this particular compressor kind of nods towards that. So what do we got? Like, really at the end of the day, they use these to make your music sound better. Really. Like, it's really kind of that simple. If you had this at the end of your mix, and generally speaking, everything sounded better. But if you started getting into the weeds with these things, people had some specific uses for them. And what they tended to be really, really good for was lovely little drum submixers. So a lot of people tended to sort of favor these for the drum part of the mix. That was probably their big thing. But another little kind of side thing, pardon the pun, is that they do a very good sidechain. So more than that, it does more than that, but just they're the two sort of big cabs off the rank that the 4000 glue compressor always did. And this is no stranger to that. In fact, you guys are in for a treat, because during the news segment, we aren't going to be sticking on this screen. We're actually going to be going down, down, down to... I've got to get my mouse back. Why don't we have a... Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll head over to here, There she is right there in all her live glory. The 4XXX compressor. And what I'll do is I'll split this screen up with Ableton. Like, you watch this little magic here. You ready? 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 I know you're ready. Okay. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Let's split it up with Ableton. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do what everyone would normally do with basically a bus mix compressor. We're going to run a drum track through it. And I'm just going to play, okay, just to lay out the lands, the track here that you guys can see the mouse going up and down on is our dry sound. So this color, the blue one, and the one to the left of it, the green one, is our 4XXX comp. You can actually see it's labeled there anyway. If you can't see it's labeled, you haven't got your glasses on. Anyway, there's the sample down the bottom. Okay, let's go. So let's have a little of it. So you can see it's coming out and it's going back out again into our ears. So this is dry. There's nothing, no special treatment, nothing. All right, audio in and audio out. But what we're going to do now is we're going to send it to this sucker here just by changing our setting here. And you can see she's having a little flick flick. Now, let's go back one more. Now, if you're clever with your ears, you would have noticed that there's a bunch of attack and release things compressing on that sound, okay? And, you know, if you really want to get hairy and dirty, we can show you the spectrum analyzer in a sec. But before we do it, what I thought I'd show you, though, is you probably want to have like a 4 release. This, by the way, the SSL 4000 has exactly the same markings, exactly the same tax, release, and this should actually say ratio, by the way, not rate. By the way, this is officially a typo. This is officially a typo. He has emailed me about it. So hopefully the next panel that gets done will have that typo fixed.
Oh, cool.
So that is a typo.
Ratio.
It isn't rate, it is ratio. Okay, so 4 to 1, 2 to 1. So if we're going to do a 4 to 1, it's good for drums because there's not a lot of stuff going on. It's probably only a couple of different sounds happening. But why don't we try a different sample? And this time I'll leave it at 4 to 1 here. But we're going to do my little Utopia. It's the first bar of my Utopia's track. Right? It's still coming out dry, right? So it's not going through the compressor. Now let's put it through the compressor. Right. Let's put it now to 2 to 1. It'll sound better. And I'll switch back. And I'll pitch back. You'll hear a bit of amplitude differences. I haven't quite got the levels right, but that's the compressor. That's dry. So what you're hearing is the transients in the audio compressing, and depending on what levels we set this stuff, it really does change the flavor of the audio. So if you've never ever played with a compressor before, you're getting to see it now. So let's have a little look at what happens if we'll make sure this goes to the compressor on 1718. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing with the attack first, and you'll hear and you'll see the difference in the sound. Here we go. All the way back to where we had it before. Now we're going to play with the release. So the release is the opposite, right? This will let a lot more through. Oh, I should mention too, you can't quite see it on that view, but you can on this view. I'll show you. The release has an auto mode, which I think is pretty neat, and it does on the original as well. I'll just quickly bring this up so you guys can see. See the A symbol? The A symbol is just next to the 1.2. So if I switch that across one more, it's now on a auto release. Alright, so we're getting kind of different sounds coming out of this thing. One thing we can also do is play with the threshold, and you can see the threshold here. It's very, very little threshold now, but if I pump this right back, that compressor's hardly letting anything through. We want to get it to where we kind of feel like it's pumping but not subtracting too much, and I feel like it's kind of somewhere. It's hard to do it with music because generally speaking this is like a mastering thing, right? And probably I'd have the attack on 1. There we go. Let's go back to the drums. This time I'm going to do more of a techno-y sounding drum. We want to go back to a release of 4 probably. And we want to make sure she's doing definitely suppressor, right? You can see it. So let's get the threshold happening a bit more. And let's get that attack happening. It's almost getting rid of that snare, isn't it? That tail on the snare. Sorry, the release I meant to say. I said attack. I do apologize. I meant to say release. We're actually playing with this one, the release. So if I go back to 0.1, it's kind of almost letting that snare all the way through. If we go to 1.2. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let's go to auto. If we turn the ratio up to 10, getting slightly different sort of crunchiness. I think 4 is best for drums though. 4 to 1. If I put it to 2, you'll hear it kind of muddies up a bit. Alright, so that's that. Obviously there's a few other things, lay of the land. Let's go back to the bigger view so you guys can see it. A couple of other things to look at. The makeup is a kind of cool thing. These are, by the way, nothing is new here, okay, except for one feature, and I'll show you that in a sec. The makeup is a gain level. It compensates the output signal from the gain reduction after compression, so you can really boost. It's not like a massive gain boost, but you can really boost. I'll just show you. So we had that same drum sound. We'll pump that up. Quite a good sound now, isn't it? And I'll just go back to the raw sound without the compressor. So this is probably where you want to get your makeup and your raw sound sounding about right. So let's go back. Back to the raw. Yeah, it's about right now, isn't it? Oh, maybe slightly louder. Don't forget too, compression does play with your ears a bit. It does trick you because it makes you feel like it's louder when it's not. So it's really, really important that you look at levels while you're doing this, and that's why it's good to show the channel strips. Okay, that's raw. And that's compression. So if I zoom in on that, This is the audio coming back from the compressor here, and that's the audio coming out of the sample. So it's probably about right, but it sounds louder. So if I change that to 19, maybe it's a little bit quieter. But do you feel that just lets all the sound through, whereas this one kind of has a bit more of a punch to it? You guys notice that?
Catches the transients.
Yeah, it's quite subtle though, isn't it?
It's very subtle.
Subtle.
But the funny thing about the subtleness is
it's that sound.
It's that sound, and also on top of that, the subtleness actually does translate a lot nicer in the mix when you've got other instruments on it. So this is why one of the reasons why they want the 4000 compressor on drums, because it does a really, really, really good job of it, especially at the 2-to-1 ratio. One more thing before we go into you guys and talking about it. It does have the send and return side chain. I'll show you that a little bit later, I feel. You guys know what side chaining does on compressors, but I'll show you that a bit later, probably later in the show. There's a CV control, which is the only thing that's new versus the original SSL 4000, which actually CV controls the makeup. So you can actually, I don't know why you'd want to CV control the makeup, but it's there.
VCA on the output, really?
Well, I mean, you could CV control other stuff, but it kind of doesn't really benefit it. You really kind of, these are more set and forget modules. But the makeup is something that you might want to tweak. You might want to send a sequencer to it, for example. It may need to change on different steps, for example. Guys, talk to me.
Right? Yeah, I'm just looking at because I used to have the Waves SSL bus compressor, which I think is the 4000. And actually, I'm just looking at the Waves one now. I mean, that's cheap. It's $35. But I don't buy Waves plugins anymore because I had them all and then they changed it, so I had to buy them again, which I refused to do. But they've said they've got theirs down as rates rather than ratio. They've got a ratio button as well, but they have got a rates S button.
I'm only just going by what he's told me. So he's told me that he wants to change it to ratio. Yeah. So let him do that.
Everything else is there. There's a couple of extra things like trim and that, but and a VU meter. But
let's have a look. I've actually got an actual screenshot of an SSL. Let's bring that up, and let me just get rid of the other one so we can see it. It says ratio.
It does, yeah.
One thing that's noticeable on this that's not on his module is the high-pass filter on the bottom right. Now, just bear in mind that the high-pass filter only works on the original SSL in the side chain. Yep. So that's
what its purpose is.
That's what its purpose is. So there may be... Go? Yeah?
Yeah. Sorry, it's the main purpose of it was to prevent the kick drum from having too much influence over the compression. Sometimes you just want to dial that back so that it pumps a bit less. So mix engineers wanted a high pass filter, found it very useful.
Yep. So the reason why he hasn't got it on his module is because it's a send and return. You can put your own high pass filter, or you can put anything, any filter through that send and return, and that way you've got the modular benefit, so it becomes flexible. I feel that would be his design reason, but that just to remind you, your send and return buttons, your send and return inputs and outputs are down the bottom in the middle. So you could in a series chain link, you could have a high pass filter coming on the inside, or you could have it on the return side, which would be interesting. You might actually get a different result.
I always like the sound of the SSL.
A bit like the sump pump.
Yeah.
Sorry, you do like the sound of the SSL? Yeah, no, I like the sound of the SSL compressor.
Yeah.
It's an essential thing from I always have on mix, at least in one place, in within the mix somewhere. Usually it is on a drum bus, but sometimes I use a different one. But yeah, no, it's classic sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a couple of things before we go into any sort of more conversation about this. With that little setup that I did before, so the audio was being generated from Ableton. It was going out digitally through my 8.8 connection into an Expert Sleeper's DC coupled module, which is called the ES8. The ES8 was then plugged directly into the in-L and the in-R on the compressor there. And then the out-L and the out-R went straight back into the out section of the ES8 and back into Ableton. So really the only thing that was touching this was Ableton. There was actually no mixer, no graphic, no EQ, nothing. It was pure from Ableton to this. The reason why I did it that way is because I wanted to see how the line levels would work, going from an external instrument as opposed to a eurorack instrument. But do remember that this is eurorack level compliant. So that's one of the reasons why I used the Expert Sleepers module, because it would be sending it at the correct eurorack level. But the other benefit is it was digital and I could manipulate things. And technically I could probably orchestrate the send and return using the same feature. And I could actually put anything through Ableton through that as a sidechain. So that would be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Classic
Any other comments, Daren?
Chain in your DAW.
Muted, bud.
Is that better?
Tis.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, what was I saying then? I actually said something. I can't even remember what I was saying. Not saying.
We didn't hear you.
No, I didn't even hear myself. Yeah. Well, considering I've only got one earbud in, you can hear that difference in it. But like you say, compression is some people don't understand it, some people do. But it's, I mean, it's 4,000. I mean, why not? How much is it? Or how much is it going to be?
Module's €250, and you can also buy it as a kit.
Well, that's good for Chris, because Chris is a kit person.
Yeah. Just one thing. It is good to know and understand what the difference between different type of compressors there are. Like a glue compressor, the glue compressor is probably the most famous type of compressor that you can get. Most people would, on a standard sort of main mix or sub mix, you'd use a glue compressor. But there are different types of compressors out there. Interestingly though, they tend to sort of do, like that sidechain will do really, really nicely. So if you've got like a track that's going through and you just feel that the kick drum isn't penetrating the mix properly, you could sidechain that through on the kick, and you would probably get that kick sort of coming through a bit louder. But you don't have to do it that way. You can do it other ways.
Yeah, I have a glue compressor in my Eurorack, the WMD MSCL. It's a DBX style glue compressor. Only 4 HP. It's really nice.
Like a 162,
stereo.
Yeah. 160 probably.
Yeah.
162 is the stereo one.
And although it's not an SSL, it gets close. The Isotope Neutron 5 compressor gets close to it, which is what I'm using now.
A lot of the modern ones, modern plugins are now pretty good at emulating this as well.
So this is an analog.
Hard to tell. Yeah.
This is an analog compressor. This one.
Yeah.
And so a lot of those VST plugins are emulating compressors, and they do a pretty good job. I'm not going to lie. There's compressors that are built into Ableton that are actually really good. I actually have grown to love them, just because they have a certain audio quality about it. I feel like they handle things properly. But I feel like with this, one of the things that you'll notice straight away, and I can't remember if this is actually a direct result of it being the same as the original, and that is that things like the attack and release and ratio, they're actually a switch. So you can hear that's a switch. So it's not sliding in between. It's not like a continuous. And all three of those are switches. Now, some people. So from what I've read, I started researching this during the week. Some people hate that. They actually want to be able to dial in whatever attack they want as literally not a setting thing, as more of I want to dial it into there. And this particular compressor doesn't allow you to do that. Other compressors will. So that could be a thing, I guess. Yeah.
Well, there's lots of advantages to using hardware for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's also disadvantages, noise and stuff. But in eurorack level, it's interesting because we haven't seen one in eurorack before. We've seen emulations, I guess, that would say influenced by or inspired by, but I've not seen one that directly says this is a 4000 series emulation directly as a module.
Mm.
What do you think of the cost, though? I mean, when you consider that you are not going to get a hardware SSL clone for less than $1,000 Australian.
Yeah.
And this is €250. It's a bargain.
Yeah.
Looking at it that way.
I mean, if you want later on, we can pull it out and you can have a look at the electronics behind it. I don't know if there's any photos on his website with that, so we can have a look, zoom in with the camera, see what he's doing, what's happening. There is just with a couple of things that I noticed. So with the input on this, it's almost like you can drive the input, and it will have these little level things here.
Yeah.
So if I mute, I'm going to mute the channel so we can't hear it. So if I bring that drum back in again,
you can push the input. Yeah, I think you could on the original too.
You can
push it into some harmonic distortion a little bit.
The camera's not picking it up, but if I increase that, it should go red. There you go. You can see it going red.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's now overdriving
on
that
the peak,
input.
it is definitely.
It's peaking, yeah. But it only goes to there. It doesn't go to 11, guys.
Useless.
What I was taught years ago with the 4000 was that you should never let that thing hit the red, the input. You should always let it just when you see it hitting the red now, you should just back it off a little tiny tad. And that generally makes that compressor handle. This is if you want it to behave properly, right?
Yeah, that was meant for tape though, wasn't it?
You don't want to abuse it.
If you don't want to abuse it, yeah. If you do want to abuse it, drive the crap out of it.
It's just the accuracy of the compression algorithm requires that it has to be in a certain analog range, and if it's clipping the input or overdriving the input, it tends to cause some weird artifacts in the mix, which can be very noticeable in the stereo mix. It mucks around with your stereo image.
Also, you get that kind of weird
gotta be careful
transients across your attacks and release as well. So if your input's too hot, you get some weirdness happening over your attacks and release.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed before when I was just kind of showing you a little bit about the way the drums sounded as I was playing with the release, and it's almost like you're getting that gated snare thing that they used to love in the 80s. It's not quite the same, but it can give you a pseudo gated snare effect, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, because it's the way it opens back up, it cuts down the gain, and as it recovers to full volume, it raises the level of anything that's decaying, such as a snare within the mix. Often they use it in a mix with like an acoustic drum kit, with the overheads start to get elevated if you muck around with the release setting, and that's a particular sound which a lot of rock producers really crave after.
Yeah. Another thing that you can do too, I haven't got enough time in the show to do this with you guys, but you can bring, like, so I had a drum beat going through. It was going through it at 120 BPM. Nothing special about that. But if you lower the BPM or if you increase the BPM, the compressor will behave differently as well. So a lot of people actually don't realize that about compressors. So it's kind of like you have to set them.
It's time.
Yeah, because
it's time based. Yeah,
it's almost like an envelope.
The attack and the release is. It is exactly an envelope. So the attack and the release on a compressor is in the time domain, and the time domain doesn't change when your musical meter changes. A millisecond is still a millisecond.
Yeah.
Regardless of what tempo you write your song at. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, you can play your music into the compressor, and it will interact differently with it depending on how you play your music as well. That's why a lot of dance music producers used to, really enjoy writing songs into a mastering chain because of the way it used to feed back into their production. So, they change their rhythm section based upon how the end change compressor is reacting to your percussion track and stuff like that. So, yeah. That used to be a big no-no, Engineers used to hate that because, it was not the way you should do it. Mastering engineers particularly.
Yeah.
But that's the creative use of compressors where it actually affects the music you're writing because you're interacting with the compressor at the end of your chain. So it can be a creative tool in that sense.
So people were asking in the chat, how does that connect up that sidechain to your eurorack? So what you're supposed to do is you connect the send, the side chain out is the return, I guess, isn't it? You connect that. Sorry. Let me start again. The send is connected to the output of your filter, and the out is connected to the input of your filter. And then you would. That's what I believe. The way I'm reading this.
Yeah, it depends. We'll have to read the manual, but I would interpret send to mean that means the signal from in left and in right is being combined into mono, which is normally sent to the compression detection engine inside the unit. That gets out the send output to your sidechain processing and then returns to the module through the return jack.
So the labeling of the jacks is related to the labeling of the mixer connections. Is that what you're saying? Well,
I think the labeling the jacks is relating to how you would chain your signal through a filter, say, for example. So you send the signal from the compressor to the filter, and then the filter's output returns to the module in the return jack.
Right. Well, anyway, sidechain out and sidechain in has to go through some sort of high-pass filter anyway, so that isn't in this module. So you would need, if you wanted to do it properly, more traditionally, that you would need a high-pass filter. So we can try it later anyway, if we don't quite get how it works.
Yeah, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We've given 4XXX compressor or 4000 compressor a great little, yeah. Well done to Feedback and CMS Lab. By the way, it is two different companies that have collaborated with them. This shipped from Spain this time, so I believe he's now sending stuff from Spain, which means that we'll get it a bit quicker, especially people in Europe will get it quicker, because before he used to ship it from Romania, and that used to take, well, he had, it's not that it used to take longer, it's just that he had dramas with the shipping supply route and the certain administrative issues amongst that. That's probably what I'll go to there. But you guys, if you guys remember, there were things that were sent that ended up sitting in Milan in Italy for a month, and he had sort of dramas like that. So he's changed his shipping from there to Spain, and it's a lot more smoother because Spain probably has a I'm not sure, but maybe they have a better connection with the other European countries and the rest of the world. Anyone who works in freight would probably understand that better than me anyway. But that's good news for us because it means that you'll get stuff quicker. It only took, how long did it take, Chris, for me to get that? It was only a few days, wasn't it? Do you remember? Because I remember when I told you I got it, and then I told you when I told you that he sent it, and I told you when I received it.
It was within a week.
Yeah, and that's to Australia.
Maybe, yeah. It was quicker than usual.
Yeah. Links to everything are in the blog article, which airs around about 6 p.m. UTC time, which is it 7 p.m. British time? I can always forget. Is it 1 hour later? I think it is. Anyway, let's go next. And that's finally now we can talk about the Jumbler from Make Noise. Oh, gush, mish, gush, gish. This is actually really, really, really cool. I actually really was quite almost shocked in a good way, right, with this, because if you look at Make Noise, I've been a user of Make Noise's products for a long time, starting with the Math and a couple of other things. They've kind of gone through a kind of journey, and if you've bought stuff of theirs during that journey, you'll kind of realize what I'm saying. It's almost like there's a Make Noise 0 and a Make Noise 1, and now we're up to Make Noise version 2 with their journey. It's kind of like they've had these different sort of going off on tangent things
Systems,
happening. Yeah. But one of the things I kind of feel is like they were doing some cool stuff with Maths. Don't forget too that Maths was that Surge thing from Buchla, and it wasn't kind of really fully their idea. They just kind of juiced it up. But that whole sort of analog processing of CV and things like that was kind of a cool thing. And it's interesting that the Jumbler has kind of come back to those roots. And this thing is actually really cool. It's actually a 6x6 analog signal combiner and distributor. And I'll just make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. It's obviously got the 6 connections on the inputs on the left and the outputs on the right. And what it's basically designed to do, and I don't know, maybe it might be better if I actually show you an animation. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's going to be difficult, isn't it, to do the animation? Does it just let me do animations, this software? Let me see. Have I just crashed it? No. Okay. I'll take that off and I'll put that on. Has it done it as an animation? No. What if I do it like this? There we go.
Is it an animated GIF or?
It's an animated GIF. There we go. You guys can see it now. So see the rotate knob moving up the top left, and then you'll see the colors changing on the right as it sort of backs through. I don't know why it's going so slow, but anyway. Now you'll see that rate knob change, and you'll see things changing like that. And the way I was explained it is one's kind of like a selector, and the other one's kind of like a spreader.
Yeah, no.
Does that make sense? So if you're kind of rotating through the outputs, and the other one is spreading it through the outputs, and you're getting a combination of those two, which I kind of felt was pretty cool. And that's kind of the gist of this thing, right? You can automate that stuff through CV, and you can attenuate it as with all their stuff, as you know. All right, but really, what does that mean to you? Is this an audio thing? Is this just a CV tool? Am I going to be bored shitless because this is one of those CV tools? Not really. Maybe check out the video. I think that's probably a good start. Let me see if I can get the video working, because I wasn't working before. Oh yeah, it's working now.
Oh.
Yay! All right. We go to here and here.
Introducing Jumbler. Jumbler is a 6x6 channel analog signal combiner and distributor for the new universal synthesizer system, or any Eurorack modular synthesizer. Jumble is one of the NUSS concepts where the routings of a patch could be reconfigured or jumbled instantly via voltage control to produce variations on a theme. Jumbler gives you powerful 2-parameter access to the rearrangement of both origins and destinations for up to 6 modular signals. 1 to 6 inputs are routed to 1 to 6 outputs in an order determined by the rotate control and combination determined by the radiate control. Unlike a simple switch module, Jumbler's analog VCA-based design is specially geared for smooth transitions and hybrid signals.
All right, that'll do. I kind of feel like you've got the gist of it now. One of the things that you should probably know about this stuff is it's not entirely new, especially if you're from the Buchla world. So the ability to mix and jumble control voltage and audio has been around in Buchla for a while. But in this particular type of setting where you can rotate it through like a round robin sort of style feature, and then spread the mix in a kind of interesting way, that is a little bit more unique, and that's what makes this module a very, very interesting thing for a lot of people. They're actually going crazy over it. Last thing before I head over to you guys, it is $259 US. It's available now, and you may want to know that there's 36 VCAs in this, which is why it's priced at what it is. That's how they're able to do what they're doing with all the blending and stuff. It's all the VCAs happening. Over to you guys.
Yes.
It's like a patch randomizer meets source of uncertainty from Buchla. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oops. There.
Good stuff.
What makes it?
Is it on your list,
Buchla, though? I'm definitely interested in it. I kind of feel like at the moment, tell me more, show me more, show me a little bit more intrinsically, not just with pretty looking pink and white cables, what you're doing. Just kind of show me more about, like, one of the things they did in one of the videos, it might have been that one I just showed, is they were making these kind of interesting mixes between wet and dry things with some of their effects modules. And that kind of sounded intriguing because it was kind of like there was an automated thing where the audio was going through, and sometimes it was coming through with this wet effect. It might have been a reverb or a delay or something, and then it was being blended back into a dry effect. And some of my favorite songs from the 80s had those kind of features in them. I used to love it, where you'd hear reverb disappearing in the next bar. You've just heard it and now it's disappeared, and it's kind of like that spatial thing's gone, and it's instantly you're right up in front of that sound, and now you're back in the back of the cathedral. There's all those kind of weird things going on.
Well, like Andy said, it's a great sort of morphing tool, morphing between whatever you desire, basically.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it unique?
Yeah, you definitely have to put well, there's overlaps with other modules. The first one I can think of is a really, really cut down version of it is the Traces from DivKid and Bafako. Is it Bafako? No, it's not Bafako. Someone else. Oh, who is it?
There was that DivKid thing which had that mixing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget who they are, and their logo's too small. I can never remember what they are. But yeah, so that works with selecting, because it also has a bunch of VCAs in it, and it's basically selecting between 4 inputs down to 1, and then he did a different one, which is doing it the other way around. So yeah, in the same territory, but it doesn't do as much as this is. This is much more feature packed because of the 6 in and 6 out. So yeah, this is like been turned up to 11 of that.
Yeah, it's nice that it's gradual, so it's not just abrupt, right? Like a pin matrix manually doing that would be very abrupt and give you similar results without the morphine, slow change. But there's other stuff out there that does this kind of stuff, but it's clever.
Gradual.
Apparently this is reversible too, so the outs can go back through the ins. He mentions that in the video, and I kind of want to see more of what that's about. There was a patch on one of the videos where he was showing that.
The feedback one?
Might have been the feedback one, yeah.
Not really the feedback one,
Yeah, Tony Rolando's a clever guy. I mean, he used to work at Moog back in the old days, and he learned a lot by working there, and then started making all these crazy modules over the years, and he's very clever, man. So
yeah, he is indeed. Anyway, that's the Jumbler by Make Noise, and that kind of just has been squeezing a few little interesting things out lately, these guys. There was the multi-mod a few weeks ago, now there's this, and I kind of feel like those two probably might even be nice paired together.
It's certainly they're trying to say it's part of the same sort of philosophy and ecosystem. It's part of their journey.
Yeah, they talk about that. It's an acronym that you use called the New Universal Synthesizer System. They've made it up themselves, or NUS for short, and it's this new kind of exploration into synthesis that they're wanting to do. Could be a really, really clever marketing term as well.
It's a TLA. Good ideas all need a TLA.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. What have we got next? We have got the Erica Synths. That's not the Erica Synths Pico Core. What's going on? Is that another problem image, is it? It is another problem image.
Castle 2 with Bard.
We'll get to that, don't worry. We're going to fix that.
Have to wait.
Ooh. Another Bastel for Park Bench.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a whole set of Bastels.
I had all the castles, except for this one.
Wait until you see the video.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you guys want to talk about this? We can talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll just change it now because since
the
we're on
cat's
this
out
now.
of the bag.
Yeah.
Let me just fix this.
I don't know if you want to play.
So watch, you'll pull up the video, and the video will be for the Erica Synth.
Absolutely.
The video is rather long and.
There's one other thing that's gone missing. All right, let me just refresh these graphics. Refresh. We can go straight to the bus. Let me just turn that off for a sec. There we go. We'll go to that. We'll talk about that and then we'll go backwards. Okay. So the Bastel Castle 2. This is the 2, Daren. The Wave Bard is what they're calling this.
Wave Bard.
So this is actually a little pocket-sized thing, which has got those similar sort of connector things that the Korg modular had, if you're wondering what you'd poke in those little holes there. Very similar to the Korg modular, and if you're into electronics, anything that goes into a breadboard is what you want. There's actually a name for them. Chris?
It's just showing us that
we call them DuPont connectors.
DuPont connectors is it correct?
Sounds French to me.
As with the original Bastel Castle, this is slightly different. This offers a 44 kilohertz 16-bit stereo playback engine, hosting up to 89 seconds of mono or 44 seconds of stereo samples, with 6 factory-loaded banks, each containing 8 samples. The ability to load user samples via a web-based app. What else can I tell you? There's pitch modulation in there, which you can see with plus and minus 2 octaves. There's a selectable factory and user scales for quantizing. There's a continuous unquantized pitch mode as well. There's built-in CV modulators for sequencing, and it's very, very compact. And it's only 160 euros. And I'll get a video lined up because I didn't actually have that one lined up yet, but I'll do it just because you guys wanted to switch around. You're allowed to switch around. We can do anything on here. It just shows how flexible.
Just rolling with the punches.
Little birds they put on it. Little bird graphics.
Yeah, wait till you see the video. Wait till you see the video. Here we go.
Yes. Okay, people. Get ready to drop the
No expense spared.
Yeah. Friar Tuck's just fallen on the bridge.
That's great.
Nice cape.
There's the Bard.
God, it's like a movie.
It's brilliant. They're getting clever, these guys. What's in the box, guys? What's in the box?
You'll have to find it first.
Medieval hip hop.
Yeah.
A for acting.
Fight. Alright, come on. You guys can watch the rest of that later.
Wow.
It does go on.
It's massive, isn't it, Ian?
Absolutely huge.
I can't fit that anywhere in my studio. It's too big.
Careful, Ian, it's a modular gateway.
I know. I'm not falling for it though, Andy.
That's cool, the sample stuff. It's like a patchable micrograin.
Enough, it's cringe. It's actually pretty cool, though. Yeah. That's the Bastel Castle. Bastel Castle, depending on what part of the world you're from. It is, what did I say? It was 160 euros, and it's available now-ish. I think some of the Bastel stuff is not available, and some of it is, and it's kind of confusing, I find, because they are releasing videos, and you can't, like some of that Eurorack stuff that they released earlier in the year, you still can't get it
They've
yet.
discontinued a lot over the years too. A lot of their stock is long gone. So
yeah. Anyway, you guys have a chat about this. It's basically a sample player with some glitchy, mangly things.
Modular.
Yeah,
layout.
Basically, it's get one and get down to your park bench.
Yeah, you're going to get one, Darren.
My hands are too big.
Right.
My hands are definitely too big for this.
Your hands are too big?
No, they're fine. My hands are big, and I use the castle.
I'm messing.
No.
I'm using
I
this.
can handle
this
fiddly
that's
DuPont
small.
connectors.
What's
The only
that
tricky
there?
thing about these little
What's that
connectors,
there,
just like on the
Like
vocal
a
modular,
monster, too.
is getting the pins lined up because the holes are very close together, and if you with intent you could put it in the wrong hole by accident, so it's very easy to do that. So
But the magic smoke won't come out if you do
Let us know in chat if you're going to buy
no,
this.
you won't hurt anything. Yeah.
Nano Granny. Yeah, it's kind of like a sample.
This might get me into the.
I'll add it to my collection.
This might
later
get
this
me
week.
into the park on the proverbial park bench, as Darren says.
Exactly. This is it.
First one I've been interested in.
I
They have the
kind
little
of feel.
dude mixer too to mix all these together. You can get a bunch of the castles and the dude mixer.
I kind of feel
And then
like
send,
we.
so
I
set,
could handle more
set on
than
your
one.
park bench and then send it out to a huge sound system, but you're just sat there with that.
Well, I kind of feel like
Or a
that
huge
video
remote.
did kind of give that impression with some of those sounds coming out of it. They were pretty huge. I kind of feel like it's a good segue to show this, the Pico Core from Erica Synth.
Yeah.
The Pico Core XL, Anyway, this thing's kind of been around a bit. So this is really not kind of a new product, but it is kind of a new thing that Erica Synths are doing as a DIY kit. But anyway, I'll stop crapping on about it. You guys can just watch the video because I think it's better if we do it that way. It kind of fits in this with the same sort of genre as that little Bastille thing. Have a look at this.
Like a micro time tosser.
Yeah.
With a gator and slicer and reverse, forward. Basically, it's a 1999 Nokia mobile phone on the analog network. That's what it sounded like to me. No. Let's have a quick chat about this. It is available through the Erica Synths network. This is also 160 euros as well. Same price. There's a couple of things about it that you obviously can see on the front. There's functions, selectors, all that sort of stuff. They're all kind of built-in controls with this. There is there's some stuff on the back, but not much. So you can sync audio, click sync, as well as it syncs the input and output for flexible chaining, so you can chain these together. There's a 2 ppqn sync resolution, by the way, if you're wondering what it is. It handles output voltages of up to 3 volts, suitable for your modular, if you want to do it with that. And the firmware supports updates to unlock additional features and improvements, which is still constantly being redeveloped. So people that are interested in it will already know that it's been around for a while. I forget the guy that actually who did this. I forgot. I've got his name written down somewhere. I just can't find it quickly. But someone will mention it in chat.
Somewhere.
It says infinite digits. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
so
Very
if you
small.
look back at the video, the little calculator thing on the left-hand side, that's what it normally is. So
Yeah, that's the older
I'm
version.
assuming it's stereo.
Yeah, it's the older version. That's a good question. I want to know that too.
Yeah.
It looks like there's only 2 inputs, but are they both stereo in and out? on one.
Yeah, was it?
Do I have another version of the photo? Let me have a quick look here.
Obviously, there's two. You've got two sets of functions, haven't you? A and B with different. Just looking at different. I quite like this.
I mean, so do I. I was thinking for live.
Absolutely for live. Absolutely.
You can go check out. There's a build document there. It might show you the back of it on there, but there's no images of the back on the website. You have to check it out.
Ian, did you say this is? Did I hear right that you said this was only DIY?
It is a DIY kit, yeah. But if you know someone, I mean, Daren, you're in the UK. There's 1 million people in the UK that would be happy to build it for you. You know, so if you wanted it really, really badly, and you didn't want to build it,
needs to buddy up with a DIY builder.
Yeah.
In his country.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's a long way.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the...
8 minutes of 8-bit mono samples.
Yeah.
So it's the whole thing's mono.
It's kind of a bit...
Yeah. Looks a bit mono to me.
8-bit, did you say? That's all right for going a bit lo-fi. But
that's fine. But
it's a bit one channel.
Yeah, but the whole point of this is you would have that sort of stuff playing with other music as well, and it would give you that glitchy sort of sample stuff synced to what you're doing. That's the whole point of this thing. I kind of feel like I've seen a video somewhere. I was trying to find it for the show, but I probably didn't. Where he had the raw electronic one that you saw in the corner of the calculator looking thing. And it was really a really cool
just
sort of
on that page
full-on performance thing going on with a hunk of electronics. It was
suddenly closed.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, Erica Synths are doing collab things now with a lot of boutique developers, and I kind of like that. It's supporting, giving them a chain to sort of release their products through, which I feel is good. And you've seen it just recently with the Bullfrog, with the Labour system, now with this, and their own stuff as well. So, and there's a few others too I've forgotten to mention. But yeah, I think it's a cool thing. Personally, for me, I actually we can achieve this, guys. This is the point. We can achieve this with other things that we've already got with our DAWs.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Right? But the whole point of this is that it's kind of been laid out, I feel like, in a very musical and easy to get to way. So it's like a performance way. And I feel like if you kind of wanted to do those sort of scattery, glitchy type sample reversing and whatever you want to call it, effects in a kind of really quick and easy way, this is good. Because if you're doing a live thing like Daren does his EMOMs, he might want to have a little glitchy thing which he can... You know, he's doing knobs and pressing buttons. People are looking at him and they're seeing that he's directly interacting with the sound. So, you know,
I mean, I do that through the Force with all my MIDI. You know, everything going via MIDI. I was just thinking this might be interesting as well.
I mean, I can do a lot of that with this.
True,
as Andy knows, because So I mean, I intend to use this on an EMOM at some point in the future because I'm really getting into it.
That Seek track is actually pretty cool. There's some features on there that I haven't even started to get my head around. Yeah, brilliant. All right, this next product I actually think you guys are going to be really interested in, and that's this. This is the Newzit Instruments Drop, and the name Drop is really, really important because this is actually a MIDI controller with a difference. It's not a MIDI controller that's that just sits there and controls a bunch of stuff and you map it to your DAW or your instruments and stuff like that. The guy that's developed this has basically looked at, I want to have something that I can control, and I think Daren's ears will prick up with this, to be honest. I think this is something right down this.
Yeah.
You've already seen this, right?
It is right down my...
right down your alley. Definitely right down my alley as well. So what you're looking at here is, this is a standalone hardware controller. It's actually full metal chassis, right? All of the controllers and CV are designed for a live performance. And what it does is it gives you a central hub to control complex mixing with software configurations and accessing stuff on the fly with a performance-oriented layout in mind. And to give you an idea, what you're going to do is you're going to have like a layer type interface. So you've got two A/B layers that provide 64 control parameters. Then there's this thing called a snapshot where you can recall up to 400 snapshots. The snapshots are basically where you've recorded MIDI events, right? And you can replay these snapshots during your live performance. And God, I wish there was a video to show you guys on this. Because
basically, this is what I've done for my live set, but nowhere near as advanced as this.
Not as elaborate.
My live set with my rig is sort of what I've done, but this is like takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah. So one of the things this features Daren would love is it features the drop, right? And everyone knows in a lot of EDM and techno music, there's a point in the track where it drops, and you need to kind of freeze all the sequences, and you know what I mean. And this actually is built to do those things, and it's built to go across those different snapshots. So it handles those different situations, and you've got that circular sort of control down the bottom left, where you can actually control how that is kind of sequenced in this. So it's not just about recording MIDI and doing events that way, but it's also got this performance attribute as well to it, which I actually think is really cool. You've got macro mapping, you've got it's massive amount of comprehensive MIDI compatibility with this thing. It handles MIDI CC notes, 14-bit CCs, program bank changes, aftertouch, pitch bend. It has Ableton Live integration. It features functions as a clip launcher if you want. There's keyboard mode. There's 2 USB-C port. Oh, there's a graphic I should grab which shows you the connectivity on the back of this. Let me grab that. You guys will love this. The graphic on the back. Where is my picture of the graphic on the back, please? Okay. Please don't be a website. Oh my God. For fuck's sake. Anyway, let me grab the graphic and we can go to you guys. There's more that I can tell you about it, but let me go to you guys for your comment while I'm grabbing the graphic. Darren, you start because I know you're the most interested in this.
Someone's just put in the chat Novation Control XL, which is another thing, but this is like this is like say shame the video. It's hard to explain because it basically is like you said, Vans. It's a master controller for literally everything. There's that better view.
That's the back of it.
On that.
Yeah. Notice that the labels are built so that you poke your head around the back of it and you can read the labels over the top. So it's got sorry Darren, I just wanted to quickly tell them what it's actually got. 2 USB-C with automatic host device detection, 4 MIDI in and out via TRS type A and B, right? And then you've also got 2 CV in and 2 CV out with 0 to 5 volt for clock and control signals. Sorry, you go ahead now, Darren.
No, I was just going to say, look at the ins and outs on the back of this thing.
Yeah. It's like, this thing looks really good, really, really good.
It can send me one if you want. I can do a live. I can check it out for live.
Darren's
give it to him for testing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like
a Shooter Jam. Tracks in August,
be on the beta testers group. Yeah.
The only problem is there's no price and there's no ETA on when this thing's going to be released. That's the thing that kind of annoys me about it. You can power this by USB, by the way, too. What's the other? There was one other thing that I really, really wanted to. Oh, there's a chain mode in this. So
you can map more.
So you can, you know how I was saying that there's snapshots? You can actually chain your snapshots too. Yep. So that would be, for Daren, like he would be able to develop sets.
Oh, like a song to have a set.
Yeah. So it's kind of like arrangements.
You just hit it so it chains through your you can come up a bit like a DMX machine for when you're doing a light section, but this is for MIDI and music. You can just hit a button for chaining. Yeah.
But the drop mode is kind of the cool thing about this, because I don't think I've seen someone actually develop that as a thing. I mean, if you're wanting to do a drop, you kind of are flying in the wind when you're doing it with all the gear you've got. Does that make sense? Like, you have to develop your own way of doing a drop. Okay, so
it's a bit perilous.
Yeah.
High
whereas
risk.
This is kind of this is, hey, I've got you. Come to me and I'll help you do a drop.
Yeah, I've got your back.
Yeah.
Perfect drop every time.
But yeah, some people may think this is not for them. It's an EDM techno electronic music device. So if you're not into that sort of type of music, then it probably isn't for you. But having said that, though, the sheer controls that this has got with MIDI implementation, this
is
really cool.
For anything, I mean, obviously it's aimed at that sort of more dance floor EDM techno, that big. But this is just, even if you're just using it, like they'd buy it for a simple MIDI controller, it'd be still useful just as a really, really expressive, MIDI controller.
Yeah.
So,
and the other thing too, Daren, is,
but like I say,
I wonder if this is class compliant and how well it will behave with your Akai products.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I might even be moving to a laptop at some point, but
as long as it's not rolling, it'll be class compliant.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. At least it's not got the Roland tag on it. We should be all right.
All right. Well, I thought that was extremely interesting. Then we showed the Bastel. So we're going next. So we're going that. Now we're going to show you a couple of modules that Dopefer are releasing in Superbooth. So if you guys don't read those famous synth websites, you probably, if you've been reading them, you probably already know about this. But anyway, let's introduce them anyway formally at the Synth Geekery show, because we are more Eurorack. So if you're thinking, what's the most Eurorack friendly like news for music gear? It's the Synth Geekery show. We're the ones that have the balls to show Eurorack. Anyway, you've got the dual input amplifier, the A119-2, which is the one on the left. You've got the A145-2, which is a slim LFO. You've got the A149-3, which is fluctuating random voltages. There's a lot of this sort of stuff happening now. That one is intriguing.
Buchla inspired.
Yes, indeed. Then there's the A155-2, which is a miniature ratcheting analog sequencer, aka Chris's clone. Sorry, Chris.
Half the 182 and my module put together by.
Yeah,
exactly.
Then there's the 188-9, which is a high-speed VCO. Don't know why he's called it a high-speed VCO. It's interesting. Yeah. I thought a VCO was a high speed.
Maybe it tracks at high speed and it's in tune.
Sure. Yeah.
So dogs can enjoy it.
But the big one, and the reason why it's a big one, I mean, these are all big, but the big one and the reason why it's big is the last one, which is the new version of the Ribbon Controller. The Ribbon Controller 2, the reason why is you probably have noticed that you haven't been able to buy these for a while. These Ribbon Controllers. So this is the thing that, Daren, you've got one, haven't you? You've got this dope for.
I have one. It's called the Troutonium,
and it does come with.
I've got the dope one.
So it comes with the ribbon strip. Plugs into the. You can see on the bottom right module there. It looks like a USB port. It isn't a USB port. It's actually the controller. It actually just uses the same cable. So, do you want me to dive into any of these, or are we just saying, great, let's see them at Superbooth?
The new designs are interesting. They're getting a little more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly.
Less clinical.
They're using orange LEDs instead of just red.
Do they have shrouded headers?
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of salty people out there.
Avoid them. Yeah. We've got one down here. Well, so the rhythm control is probably the more interesting one, isn't it?
The high-speed VCO was, you're right on the money there, Chris. It looks like it's a high tracking, which apparently scales
accurate
properly.
Accurate tracking at high frequencies.
Yeah. Which is one of the biggest problems with analog VCOs.
Yeah, and if you're doing cross-modulation, FM, that kind of stuff at high frequency, you want a bit more accuracy. So perhaps that's who they're aiming at some complicated sound design.
I'll read this because I don't really understand it. So it tracks perfectly to the scale of 1 volt per octave in the frequency range of 15 kilohertz up to 500 kilohertz. The main application is the exact drive of BBD modules, for example, the A188-1, to generate things like Kaplan-Strong synthesis.
Wow.
Cool. It incorporates with other high-speed inputs like digital noise, delay, frequency dividers, and things like that. So in principle, the module is made of a precision audio VCO followed by a phase lock loop unit that multiplies the frequency of the audio VCO by 32. And the module can also be used as an audio VCO, which features in standard waveform, sawtooth, triangle, and rectangle, and adjustable pulse width. So that is that high-speed VCO, which is the one second to the right. And it's only... What is it? A few HP, that one. It's pretty decent.
4
HP.
Looks like 4.
Yeah. It says 4.
Yeah.
No prices on this, but it is going to be... Well, I haven't actually researched for prices, so I will apologize in advance for anyone who wants to know prices for any of these. I didn't get a chance because I was too busy during the week to find out. But don't forget, these are going to be at Superbooth next week, so you'll see a lot of this stuff. The one that interested me was probably the fluctuating random voltage thing. For other reasons. I mean, it's kind of like in a way, it reminds me of an old System 100 module, where it's got the sample and hold, the LFO. It kind of gave me that sort of vibe, but I'm probably underselling it. But I'm just having a look at the picture here. The top part is a slew, so you can do portamento with it. And other things, like for example, if you like making trapezoids, that could be one use for it. A triangle LFO in the middle, which has a high and a low range switch, and then down the bottom. The bottom 3 knobs is the sample and hold, which has an auto and a manual. And then the connectivity is based on all of those 3 functions. Is there anything interesting to... I mean, the grouping is probably the interesting part of it, but like I said, there's been Roland modules in the past that have done this, and they were around in the 80s.
Dope are really the only ones sort of combining their previous modules into smaller versions or kind of recipes,
or maybe
patches,
or maybe
it's
even
kind of a dope
like you
thing.
said, a nod to Buchla. You said that before as well. This could be that.
Yeah.
Because in his description he says, this group we present several functions of Don Buchla's source of the uncertainties modules that cannot be realized with the existing A100 modules. Some of these functions of Buchla's 265 and 266 source of the uncertainties can be realized with this module, and it's based on the homonymous fluctuating random voltage by Buchla compared to the historic original. A lot of functions have been added. For example, the user has access to virtually all internal signals e.g. a noisy triangle or sample and hold. There are a lot of adjustable parameters which can be fixed in the original. Which were fixed in the original. For example, the frequency and noisiness of the internal triangle oscillator, the correlation of the sample and hold, the manual and automatic frequency control of the sample and hold clock oscillator. The fixed internal connections of the original are wired to sockets in the bottom so that you can actually use these as connections. For example, the sample and hold slew can be used as an independent from other units. There you go.
A lot of normalizing going on.
Yeah. So there's some meat in that stuff. I know for some of you, Eurorack can be a bit dry, but I don't know. Kind of one of the things you kind of got to remember is that I'm feeling that right now, where all the innovation, I say this a lot, it's like a broken record for some of you guys, but I feel like where all the innovation is coming from in synthesizers almost is majority coming from modular synths, and then they are then brought into, you know, bigger synths in various ways. I don't know. I kind of feel like at the moment there's a real lot of interest and love with the Buchla stuff, isn't there? There seems to be a real big thing on that.
Yeah, it's getting some much deserved love at the moment.
Because if you want weird stuff and lots of control, you've got it there.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I have not been paying attention to chat today, so don't worry. We'll say good day to the chatties in a sec. We are nearly finished. Don't worry. There's a couple of other cool things to go. The Rhythmatic by Sebsong's Modular got me interested because he has actually got a video. I like it when people do videos. Well done.
Yeah.
This is a 16 HP module that encapsulates the essence of the classic Roland CR78 drum machine. It offers 6 distinct analog drum voices and built-in sequencer, all within a compact form factor, designed for both Eurorack, or if you wanted it, you could actually put it in a little pod. Daren likes to do pods, so you could have it as a standalone if you wanted. What can I tell you? The analog drum voices are bass drum, snare drum, low conga, rim shot, hi-hat, cymbal, each with adjustable parameters. There's a 64 programmable pattern with 16 steps on the sequencer. It also supports polymetric sequences with individual track lengths. There's pre-programmed patterns in there, so you can just plug and play. There's 64 factory patterns, which actually features the original CR78 rhythms and contribution from artists like Konstantin and Salkinsaw. I don't know those, but that sounds cool if you're into them. There's a randomization control. A central knob introduces and removes steps from patterns, and it's like a shift function as well, which enables a 4-bar loop recorder to capture those parameter changes, so you can actually do them, record what you've just done, and let it go and play it, and it will just keep doing it for you as a 4-bar loop. There's mutes, there's flexible input and outputs, there's CV integration, there's a whole bunch of cool shit. You should buy it. It's £300 or £210, Chris, as a DIY.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes, I know.
Let's have a look. I think that'll do. I think we get the idea. Yeah.
Is it 12 or 14 HP? I can't quite tell.
It is 16 HP. So
16.
Almost, but no cigar.
Almost.
Yeah. Indeed. Right.
That's the sound I heard when I woke up before the show.
What was I going to do next? I was going to do this next? Why did that picture not come up? You stupid. Need a smack in the head. It's a PNG. What is wrong with you? That's what I want to show. You guys should have seen this thing before.
Yeah.
Ooh, Oxy.
Cool.
Oxy have released a Mark II to the One. Now, if you guys haven't ever seen a One before, they are.
I have a One, yes.
They're a hardware sequencer. They're a grid-based one. So they're kind of. They do remind me a little bit of the Deluge, but not the same. But it's kind of a compliment when you say that, because the Deluge is a grid-based groovebox / sampler, and this is kind of like this is the sequencer thing, but they've got their own kind of cool things in it as well.
Yeah, if you remember the SEC, I think it was the SEC, that big, I can't remember what it's by now.
Polyend SEC.
Yeah.
Polyend SEC. You could say it's a bit like that, but a lot more you can do on it. Yeah. And obviously this is number 2, so it's a lot.
Well, I'm going to show you or talk to you about the differences between 1 and 2. There are 2 versions you can get of this now. There's the black and the white. This is the white that you're looking at. The black has basically the buttons on the left-hand side are all black. Not the knobs. The knobs are already black, but the buttons underneath it. And the actual pads, instead of them being all coloured like that, they're actually just kind of edge lit. So there's like a black in the middle. Does that make sense? Kind of like what the MPC does, right? Anyway, so this is expanded, as you can probably tell. There's a whole bunch of new stuff in here, but I have actually, and the good news is this is going to be in the blog article. There's actually a little table that I've done for you. Oh, no, nice. Where you can actually compare the difference between the 1 and the 2, and I'll give you it. The 1 has 4 sequences. This has 8, so it's double. It has double the tracks from 32 to 64. It has a larger OLED display, and it's good for me because the other one had a tiny little display in it. The function buttons have additional backlit things. There's 2 CV inputs, which the old one didn't have any. There's 6 MIDI ports with a split V2. So the Oxy Split is a separate product that you can buy. There's 96 MIDI channels. There's 3 new performance modes in this, and I'll talk about them in a sec.
I was asking, does it have a keyboard mode? Is it?
So they've got. I'll tell you about that in a sec too. So they have in the performance modes, they've got accumulator, repeat, and flow. They're the new ones that they've got. You can also do the original basic one as well. There's 8 modulation lanes. There's 16 LFOs, 2 per sequencer. There's an internal and a micro SD card, where the old one only just had internal storage on it. And better battery. And also there's an Oxy app now that you can actually integrate this with. So it didn't have an Oxy app before, so this one does. There's a video which also answers your question, I believe, Andy. So watch the video.
We are beyond excited to introduce the Oxy One Mark II, the next evolution of our groundbreaking sequencer. Mark II is the culmination of years of refinement, shaped by feedback from our community and artists. We've packed in powerful new features and streamlined the workflow.
That's the black, by the way.
Creativity like never before. The result, the most powerful, inspiring, and affordable sequencer on the market. Our goal with Mark II is simple: to eliminate friction between your ideas and your music. With Oxy One, creativity moves at the speed of inspiration. In this video, I'll walk you through some of the most exciting new features, but be sure to subscribe.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff in this video, which 7 minutes. I think you guys need to go check it out. Let me just quickly, briefly tell you, the accumulator and repeat engines are new dynamic sequencer manipulations. They show it in this video. They'll go into detail in another video. There's a flow mode, which I mentioned before, which adds like a performance layer to it. And so they show that. Is it in here? Yeah, it's kind of hard to find it, but it's in this section of the video here. It does show it. It's like a 7-minute video. Sorry, guys. It does have a keyboard mode, Andy. It does have chord and harmony features. It's got intuitive chord mode with chord smart selections. There's a harmonizer. There's support for up to, I said 96 MIDI. I think it's kind of like 6 MIDI ports with that expander thing. What was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh, okay. This kind of brings back memories. When we showed this, the Mark I originally years ago, I was not critical of this because I thought this was pretty cool as a whole, but I was only critical of one thing, and I feel like they still haven't done what I would have liked them to do, and that is, it would have been awesome if they made a little bit more CV connectivity. So I've noticed that they have 2 CV inputs now on this. So obviously you can I guess sync it up with your modular with the CV inputs. I'm not actually sure what else you can do with it because I haven't had a chance to check it in. But I would have loved to have seen this. Maybe they could do a modular version of this. Because one of the things I love is I love using my SQ64 and my BeatStep Pro. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Oxy is tiny. And it is so cool how tiny it is and how usable it is. That would be beautiful just in front of your eurorack modular system as well. It's not going to take up heaps of desk space. So I would love to see them do a CV version of this, or maybe a hybrid MIDI/CV version of this.
Expander at least would be great.
Or an expander, yeah. This is MIDI.
They did do an expander. They did do an expander where you plugged it in and it give you a big expanse of all outs.
The split, yeah.
Because I didn't get the splitter or the expander.
The expander is just MIDI expansion, or is it CV gate stuff?
I'll show you.
I can't remember.
I'll show you. It is MIDI.
Right. I think about it's going to have to do something.
Yep. It's a challenge to
it's
them.
MIDI.
Come up with one that does CV. That would be good.
It's weird that they're trying to compete with KeyStep Pro, BeatStep Pro when they wouldn't include CV gate.
Oh, there is a breakout module. It's called the pipe. Okay, now we're talking. There is.
Yeah, that's what Pat
So you've got 8
chat said, yeah.
8 CV and 8 gate, and it's €106. There you go. So cool. All right. So we are cooking with gas. I want to see more of that sort of stuff. That's cool. I really like it now.
So they don't clutter up the actual device with that because it's in the rack. So that's kind of nice. That's kind of cool, actually.
But let's just go back to that shot again with him using it, right? Just look how small it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me,
that's great.
I've never been a massive fan of huge pads. I love how this has got little pads on it. Little pads. And they're just so usable with your fingers. They're the finger size. Those little pads are finger size.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all you
like
need.
Sonority. Nice little pads.
Yep. No, this is cool. Okay, price. People are asking about the price. €819 for the white and 20 euros more for the black. I don't know why. Why didn't they just make it the same price?
I thought the black would be cheaper, wouldn't you?
Well, they've got different. They are using different pads on them, so maybe that costs them more to produce it.
Yeah.
The black KeyStep Pro is very much more expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
That's Arturia.
That is true, but that's Arturia.
Definitely.
But I do look at that. That actually looks
because they made it exclusive. That's why.
That actually looks really nice.
I like black.
The black.
Yeah.
That looks really nice.
I like the other one.
I prefer the original. Yeah.
That's interesting.
The white. Yeah.
Horses, of course.
Yeah, because in a dim room, you're going to see more with this, right?
Yeah, definitely.
No, I'm still liking the black because you still get the color, the RGB colors on the black as well. Yep, I'm happy with that. Yeah, this is on my list, Daren. He's not there.
He's gone. He's disappeared.
Daren,
come back.
Hey, Daren.
Come back.
That's what Darren's house sounds like right now. Anyway, actually, we just had a look at Daren's computer, and it went like this. Indeed, it did. We finished the news, by the way. Let's talk about
the Macs.
It's just a MIDI controller sequencer, yes.
Yeah, but it isn't just a MIDI controller and sequencer. Does that make sense? This thing has got an absolute F-ton of cool things in it that will make your sequencer life a lot more funner.
Yeah. Ratchets, probability, all the good stuff. Right?
Oh, it's actually, in a way, I remember there was another one that someone was bringing out, and it was all just Euclidean this and Euclidean that and randomization, and it just really didn't hit the nerve with us. This thing has got some really cool. You've got to watch the video. It's got some really cool sort of performance modes in it, and those performance modes can then be re-recorded in your sequence, so you can then sort of build. You can do stuff, perform, re-record it, layer it over the top, build, save songs, patches, everything. Right? It's really, really cool. Now that I know that you can get this module, I'm actually kind of even more. It's about €1,000 for me though for the whole thing.
Do you know if they have resolution like the Electron stuff has, like 4 trigs per step, that kind of stuff, or is it?
Resolution, I have no idea. Best thing, Andy, would jump on their website and go into the manual.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out. But they do talk about like this, the system itself is improved hardware. So obviously they've got a better chip in there that's doing all the processing. So you'd think there might be something heading down in that direction that you're talking about, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian, I don't know if this is kind of up your angle. I know you like the Linstrument, right?
I do. When the Linstrument, actually, the Linstrument has got lots of stuff that I don't use. So it will do sequencing and all that sort of stuff. And
you don't use it?
And I don't use it. I mean, I have messed around with it when I first got it. But I just use it as a performance instrument. I mean, and you can also split it in.
What sequencer do you use?
I use whatever is in whichever synth I'm using, to be fair.
So just
don't
basic
use an external
sequences.
Yeah. What I may start doing, though, is because you can split the instrument into 2 synths.
Yeah.
And I'm probably, because now I've got the Micro Monster and the Argon 8, which will both do MPE.
Yep.
I am going to start exploring using both at once.
Don't get too excited about the Argon 8 and MPE, by the way. It can do.
No, I know, I've tried it.
It can do stuff, but it's not like huge.
And actually, I'm finding the Micro Monster, because I've been programming this week, that it's still a little laggy, because the Mark 1 was, which I was slightly disappointed with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm liking it as a synth, but
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not quite for me, this, really. But and I like a bigger pad, because the little instrument's got nice big pads.
Fair enough. Yeah, so there's not an image of the pipe, which is that breakout module, Chris. There's only like a render.
Yeah,
I'll show you it. I mean, you guys can probably check it out yourselves anyway.
Yeah, chuck it up.
Chuck it up. To me, it just looked fairly.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Steve has got the pipe. I'm not sure.
Which Steve? It's literally 1,000 Steves.
Ted's.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Ted's, the one who pops on the show occasionally.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure, but
that's
I think
the pipe.
He's got the pipe.
That's the new pipe, not the old one. This is the new one, so it's a render. So you've got 8 CV and then 8 gates, and then you've got your clock clock out and reset out. But that, I believe that thing down the bottom would probably be your connectivity.
HDMI.
Yeah, I reckon it's HDMI too.
There was a third party company making similar breakout for the Arturia stuff. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, just had a snake that came with it.
It's no longer available.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's,
oh, really?
Okay. That was for the BeatStep Pro.
No.
Yeah. It was a bit clunky too, to be honest.
Doesn't make it anymore.
Was it?
Yeah. It was a bit clunky. I mean, really, at the end of the day, all you benefited from it. It was a quite an expensive regime to do. All you really benefited from it was just neating up your cables. There wasn't
quick
really,
access and
there wasn't like a massive benefit from it.
HDMI cable, yeah. Wow. So that I'll tell you what, you get a really nice case with them. Proper decent case.
Yeah. So you've got one, Daren.
I've got the Mark 1, yeah.
That's what he said.
That just flew over my head like a 747.
Let me just get it.
You were busy running the show, Rant. That's what was happening.
No, it does tend to happen to me.
Yeah.
It flew over like a sugar glider, right?
That's it. Let's go big. Let's go 1080p on Daren.
Well, that's the Mark 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a massive difference, is it?
No.
There's an iPad.
Could there be a software upgrade for them?
No, there's definitely.
Oh, here we go.
There's differences.
Can we have a software upgrade to make the processor go faster?
Yeah.
Don't work like that.
Yeah.
We wish.
Doing extremely well there, Daren. How much have you used that for?
Thanks.
Yeah, nice work.
I use it. I've not used it as much as I should.
So many.
See, that has CV and gate on it.
They're all used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark 1.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I figured it should if it's trying to compete with the other stuff. So
yeah. Well, there you go, guys.
Yeah. Grab yourself a Mark 1 if not. And I say the case is brilliant.
Second-hand one of those Rants.
I reckon I was confused about what it was that I was getting my knickers in a twist about. Anyway, that's fine. We can do that.
The thing that gets me with the Mark 1 is because it's built-in battery, a bit like an iPad battery, so you can plug it in and charge it, but it never actually tells you whether it's finished charging or not.
There's not a light on there or anything.
If you just
that doesn't change.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't actually
doesn't change color or anything.
Let's put it this way: I've never found it. I've had it on there. So if you switch it off, for instance, and leave it charging, I don't know whether it's fully charged. I presume it just stops. But if I switch it on, it'll tell me the percentage.
You'd hope it'd have the proper charging protection.
Yeah, trickle charge.
Yeah.
It will.
But don't forget, this is the Mark 1.
It wouldn't get the CE badge if it didn't.
Exactly. But it's like, say, it's just sometimes you look across and go, well, I presume it's charged. Until you switch it on, and then you see the battery, a little battery symbol.
I forgot, was that a Kickstarter? Okay. Was that what that was?
I think it was.
It started off that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it went straight to, I think I got mine from Signal Sounds.
I mean, they're a bit pricey. That's the only thing I will say about them.
Yes.
They're a little bit on the pricey side.
But I will say they're built well.
It's
all metal, solid metal. Yeah.
And they're not super menu divey, right?
No.
Not really, no. No. It's quite... It's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you've got it, it's...
A lot of the OLED stuff is settings and stuff.
Pro, they're menu divey. Yeah, there's a lot of menu divey.
The OLED display is more for the settings and stuff is kind of on the Mark 1. But the Mark 2's got a lot more stuff in it, so maybe there might be a bit... And it's got a bigger screen, so maybe there might be a little bit of menu diving in that. But, I mean, who cares? I mean,
it's menu diving, but not in the way that is I'd say is annoying, because there's not too many pages.
It matters on like the KeyStep Pro, because it's a small screen, and you got to change your MIDI channel. It's very annoying sometimes. Tiny little text. So...
Yeah. Well, this is a lovely little...
I don't have a KeyStep Pro.
So it's...
Well, BeatStep Pro, same thing. I mean, it's
yeah, but there's no real screen on that. But I know, sorry, Arturi, but I could never justify the price of the KeyStep Pro. I didn't think it was.
It's really great, but it's fiddly with the screen.
Yeah,
so
didn't think it was the. I mean, when it gets to my country, you guys have to understand.
For all us older
we
people,
pay a massive tax
people, we need
on
a big 7-inch screen
buying things here.
So be glad you didn't buy the black one because it costs more.
No, it just annoys me that like $1 US and $1 Australian are pretty similar living in the country that you live in. But when you exchange gear across, you know, countries, it isn't. It's not the same. And that's the issue. So when we're buying gear, we're buying instruments, we're actually paying a higher price for it than what you guys are. So you guys can acquire gear a lot more affordable than what we can. Is kind of what I'm saying.
Not anymore for Andy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'd rather use stuff anyway.
Personally, I don't think that.
Come on, just build it in your own country. It's that easy.
I don't think that Trump thing's going to stay. He'll have to remove some of that shit. I don't think it's going to last, honestly.
Eventually, yeah, because it's bad news.
But it's just when,
Yep. Right, we should do a quiz clue, I think, because I think it's time. Should we do that? We do that. Let's go.
Got my pen ready.
Oh yeah.
The next clue for the quiz. Let me just wait for that stupid idiot's name there to disappear. There we go. The next clue is clue number 2, and that is this one. Inverter is your verter. Cool. For the synth quiz, if you're wondering. There we go. Okay, we should actually, you know what? The next segment is actually not even going to be run by me. It's going to be run by the person that did it last week, which is Andy.
Oh.
Hey,
brilliant!
Andy.
I can sit back and relax.
Andy.
There we go, Andy. Take us away with Price Watch.
So this was just kind of funny because I didn't know they made this version. I just saw it browsing around, and they only made 30 to celebrate 30 years of Waldorf. So I don't know if whoever bought any. I mean, this is the only one I've ever seen, like I said, and it didn't seem to be much different than just the look. So it looks kind of like the what's the one that we have, Ian? The dark
sledge.
Mode.
Looks like a sledge.
Sledge, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like the sledge. So, I think that's kind of all you're getting is a look. It didn't really seem
nice
to change
big screen, though.
The circuitry. Yeah, it's
keys listening.
So if you want to have a rare item, this is probably your only chance to get it from this guy.
I don't know. I've never been a fan of the black keys. I don't know why.
I just got it because it was interesting and the sledge was cheap when I got it. It was used and it was cheap.
The
sledge I'll get the black one.
Cool.
The prices are going up on the sledge, surprisingly. But I wonder if it's as buggy as the sledge is from a software point of view.
$573 shipping. What the hell?
Yeah, they're heavy.
Where is it? Italy. I know they're heavy, but
suckers,
that is almost a flight.
Well, they might also be charging you for the packaging part of it too, not just the shipping, but actually bundling it up.
Well, that's £3,700 if you're wondering, Ian. If you wanted to get that,
pass the savings on to you.
Yeah, I mean, still
so
one of my favorites.
Everyone knows what a quantum is, so yeah, I didn't.
I'll never be able to afford that.
I know. There was a local one once used that was down to, I think it was $3,300 used. I was very tempted, but I mean, for a used synth, that's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, next, another Waldorf.
Yeah, I put this in there because I back when I bought my Emax 2 in college, this had just come out. So this is, I think, 94 is when this came out. So I had already bought my Emax 2, and then this came out, and I was going to the Guitar Center all the time, and the guy actually let me sample this into my Emax 2 using the store's Emax 2. So I've always had an affinity for this unit because it's got nice analog filters, as you can see in the title. It's basically all the PPG wave waveforms with the analog filters, so it's very very PPG-like. Tangerine Dream had a bunch of the albums that came out around that time, like Melrose and a few other albums like that, so you can hear it everywhere. There's a really cool preset called Leone's Wet Dream. and it's even in the if you get the Waldorf XT iPad app. that came out. All those presets are in there too, so you can get a lot of this goodness on your iPad. So yeah,
Lovely.
It's expensive because it's not very common. I think they're around a little over $2,000 when they in the stores, 2,500, something like that. They weren't crazy expensive, but they were in that almost unattainable ballpark at the time for me. So I got to sample it. I got my favorite samples out of it.
Nice.
Yeah. And the color's cool. It's of course it's designed by Axel Hartmann, like a lot of these are. So bright colors and so yeah, there you have that one.
Biscuit's asking, does it use tube? I don't think it does it?
What was that?
I said, Biscuit's asking, does it use tubes? I don't think it does it?
No. It's all digital.
Yeah.
Digital with analog filters.
Except for the filter.
Yeah, with the Curtis.
Yeah. The XT has all digitals, everything. Digital filters, everything. So.
Same filters that are in the in Sonics, I believe. Yep. All right, so this one now, the Buchla.
Ooh.
Yeah, I always wanted one of these. I know they're horribly expensive, but super portable and fun and all that, Buchla goodness in a little package. You still have the card memory thing. You can put together your own memory cards for it.
Native VS has got one of these. Not the 50
He
anniversary
does. In fact, I was going to say he just put up another video recently of him playing in the park. It's very nice
awesome. Yeah.
Thing. So it's he's not on a park bench, but he's in the park. So
he made his, didn't he? He put his together.
He did. It's called the Weasel.
That counts.
It's a kit. Yeah. So, but they sound great, and he's really good at noodling on it. So
he is. It's beautiful.
That's why I want. Yeah.
So there you go. That was the price difference. If you picked that up with a quick eagle eye, 13,000 US is 20,000 Australian. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much for me.
Now this is the anniversary one, so it's looks like it has the gold keys.
Wow.
Instead of the silvery.
I've got that book. We got the electronic music.
Yeah,
book.
with the bird. Yeah. Oh, the one.
I know.
No, the one above it.
They just re-released that electronic music book. That was out of print.
Yeah, that's when I've got it. I got it when it came out.
Yeah.
Last month, last year, back into last year.
When was their 50th anniversary?
Well, Buchla started in the 60s. Don't know exactly when. I didn't look at that, but Buchla was, at or just before Moog with some of this stuff. He was in the early days.
It's a damn good question I've just asked that I don't know the answer to. Someone can tell me. I'm just trying to work out a timeline though, because
63. Created in 63.
Oh, there you go. Native ES said 50th was last year, most likely. So
Mark Doty does he still work for Buchla? Mark Doty?
No, he doesn't. I asked him about it at NAMM when I ran into him.
There you go. Beautiful. Next.
Yeah. It didn't change yet.
There we go. I'll press it again.
Yeah. There you go. This is just I had to throw this in because look how expensive it is for a modified SK1 all circuit bent and stuff. It's crazy. It's a pretty wild price, right? That's
absolutely
one of the most elaborate ones I've seen.
30% price drop.
Yeah. And I have a SK1 that's mildly modified. Somebody put a photocell in the circuit so you could do like kind of a pseudo theremin thing with it to tweak the pitch. But this one's really elaborate. Look at that.
Yeah.
Glitch Bay. I love it.
So I think this might be a Reed Ghazala special because it says Gaz Benz there.
Yeah, Gaz Benz. Yeah,
he's the godfather of circuit bending. So this might be one of his jobs, which is why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a go on that.
Yeah. Be pretty fun. I used that little SK1 to death before I could afford anything decent. So it's a fun thing, and it even has a synthesis mode. It's more like an organ synth, but you can get some interesting tones out of it and changing envelopes on it and looping stuff. So it's pretty clever. But yeah, look at all that work. Whew.
Yeah, it's great.
How'd you like to do that, Chris?
It's right up Chris's alley, trust me.
It's interesting how he's recycled old PCBs as panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool too.
All that circuitry is irrelevant, yeah. Nothing to do with the actual circuit.
Just a look and feel thing, yeah.
A lot of wiring behind that panel, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and this is the last one, I think. Yeah, this is the last one.
I like the title of this one. It was funny. It's super rare. It's like, it's not super rare. No. And the price is actually kind of high. I mean, I got one about 15 years ago in immaculate condition for like, I don't know, $700 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a bit high.
So it's a bit high, unless they have become rare, especially in good shape. I don't know. But this is their
Sorry, Andy. 500 quid on eBay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Sounds about right, doesn't it?
But this was their ultimate. They called it the Cosmo Synth in Europe, and it had proper aftertouch, nice velocity keybed. Jean-Michel Jarre had this and the 5000.
Yeah,
it had a sequencer on it.
You loved the phase distortion sound.
Yeah, it's great. This is one my friend and I used to drool over in the local music store. It wasn't a Guitar Center. It was this other local one that closed. And this is a Casio? We're like, whoa, look at this. I mean, you get some cheesy sounds out of it with the presets, but when you dive into it, it's pretty wicked. Don Solaris had a really good demo video or audio track of it.
This is in good condition.
It is.
This is in really good condition. That's probably why it's fetching the price. Yeah, it's obviously had some cleaning done and
NOS possibly.
And I didn't see. Did it have a cartridge? I didn't check if it had the cartridge with it.
We'll get to it eventually.
That's another goodie for this, to have a memory cartridge. There's even a circuit online to make your own memory cartridge for it. So
there's the cartridge port there. It doesn't look like anything's in
it. Yeah, I didn't include it. But they're fun. I mean, I haven't used mine as much as I would like to. One of these days I'll delve into a little bit further. But now you have all these, Arturia has one. Yeah. There's an iPad version. So, but it is fun to play the original. But I love these sensationalized titles here.
Condition is everything.
Super rare, must see.
Load tested for 2 hours. Really?
But it's pretty verbose post, right? I've never seen one this verbose. Yeah. This is crazy.
I know. I almost bought the CZ1000 back in the day.
Oh,
I loved the sound of it.
Yeah, I went a little CZ crazy. I have a 101, a 1000, a 3000, a 5000, a CZ1.
Yeah.
It just goes on and 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 on.
And the VZ stuff too. The VZ is very nice. The later version. The interactive phase distortion synths.
Wow. That was good, Andy.
Yeah.
Done well.
Yeah. A little blast from the past. Some of these are things I used to drool over in the stores, and I finally got some of them. So.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do How's Your Week Been? And then after that, we can do the third clue on the synth quiz. So, how's your week been? We're going to start with Daren. Daren, how's your week been?
Well, my week's been odd. Well, it's been good and bad. First bad thing is my desk has popped, so hence the reason why I'm on the mic's running through somewhere else. Just switched it on, it went pop, dead as a dodo. Last week, obviously, I wasn't there. I was at Waves in the Park, which was great. So, and they'll be doing another one in October. So, anyone around there, you need to get down there because it's a great day. It was decent weather. I mean, it wasn't as sunny as it could have been, but it wasn't raining, which was a great thing. Doing it in a bandstand, and this is how British or English can you get? So it's in a park, in a park with overcast weather. in a bandstand. Yeah. Bear in mind, the bandstand has no cover around it, so it's just just a top. With people sat there eating ham sandwiches and a cup of tea, and just down below is a proper cricket match going on. And just to top it off,
lovely.
Every 25 minutes or so, Thomas the Tank Engine came around with kids in it as a little train. And then in the bandstand, there's electronic music going on. So I loved your so you've got to crack down to the next one.
Yeah, I loved your drone footage. Drone footage was really cool.
Yeah. Well, it was. Unfortunately, Lee, who usually does the streaming, he had some family. He had a family issue, so he had to rush off, so he couldn't do it. And I just took my camera on the off chance, so I thought I'd. So I've got all the artists. I've not managed to get them all down yet, but I might put them up on YouTube at some point. So there'll be all the drone footage of each artist. With the audio's only off the camera, unfortunately, because it was just one of those quick. Let's see whether I can do it. And so the next one will be in October, probably October the 11th. Hopefully the weather will be holding, and I'll be playing on that one. So yes, it's a great time. It's just so unusual to have. It's not an EMOM, although it is an EMOM way, but we don't class it as an EMOM. It's just an awesome day just to sit on the grass bank listening to loads of different electronic music and in a park under a bandstand. So yeah, it was great. And the rest of the week I've just been doing stuff off the tracks and working. So yeah, that's my week.
Yay! Well, awesome. Well done for the live, the performance and everything. Good job. Okay, we'll head over to Andy. Andy, how's your week been?
It's not very musical, unfortunately. Just been super busy with work and saving up for an upcoming trip, and so been missing a lot of live streams from other people, lots of other stuff going on. But I didn't even have time to make a Harbor Jam this week. Just too busy. But I did go on a friend's horror movie channel on YouTube, and we did a live stream cold watch, basically streaming commentary of a really silly 80s TNA slasher movie, and had a blast doing that, just ripping it to shreds, having fun and stuff. So it was fun. That was good. And then and of course I did a 6 oscillator show with Eddie yesterday. That was kind of funny because a lot of tech issues and stuff, but we had a little session at the end of the show just to go over some mixer settings he was not sure about, because some of the audio kept cutting out in a few spots, and so I think it's all ironed out. So the next one should be pretty smooth. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I mean, weather's been kind of weird. We got a little sprinkling yesterday, but been pretty warm and getting into the summery type weather. So not much else to report. So
awesome.
Thanks.
Yay. Well done, mate. Over to Ian. Hey, with the best t-shirt in the world on.
Absolutely the best t-shirt. It fits me well for a start. It's not too tight. This is an extra large size, by the way, people. So my week. So thank you very much. I mean, first thing, I put a video out on Monday which did better than normal. It's had over 5,000 views about my visit to see William Baskinski and how disappointed I was with the fact that somebody just sat there for 45 minutes drunk and played nothing, and just listened to his laptop. A lot of interaction on it, actually, because obviously people had seen him and that. A few little trolls, but that's always part of it. So that was lovely. So thanks everybody for the comments. What else did I do? Sold my Korg 700. That's finally gone. It's gone to a guy about an hour away. He came and picked it up on Tuesday. I've been practicing for the EMOM Festival, which I'm playing in Leeds in a couple of weeks. With Jason, we're doing it together. So that's why this is all set up, really. What else? I went to see Kruger and Dorfmeister in Bristol on Thursday, which is a band I didn't really know that much about, and I don't quite know.
I didn't know they're still around. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, they played the 1995 album live with a a band of brilliant musicians. It was a really great gig. It was at Bristol Beacon. First time I've ever been to the venue. Really great venue, great light show, just a great gig, really. Really fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Been playing with a Micro Monster, which I got last week, and having to program it for the MPE, which I've been doing. And thanks to everybody who's already, because it was Bandcamp Friday yesterday, and all those people that have already bought some of the Sinners music stuff, because we're doing a deal until Sunday at midnight where if you buy anything, you get 2 free albums, but not Ranzee's album. You get some of the other stuff, but so you can buy anything as cheap as you like. I mean, Chris bought 2 tracks and got 4 free albums, didn't you, Chris? So that's on until midnight on Sunday. So, and thanks to everybody else, including Marky, who's already taken. I just did it on the spur of the moment yesterday, and then did a little video on it, and it was, like I say, it was nice to see Bandcamp Friday back. And this, I got this today. I didn't buy this.
Been waiting for that.
Don't know if anybody knows about it. You probably can't see because it's a bit dark. This is Notations 21, and I'm really fascinated by graphic scores. And it's a really expensive book if you buy it, but I've got this from the library. But it's just full of graphic scores.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to explore that over the next 3 weeks, really.
Wow.
I'd like to buy it, but the cheapest version on Amazon was 400 quid, and the most expensive version was 1,500 quid.
It looks like that one that you just opened looked like the ABC's election website.
Yeah,
where they were showing what electorates had won.
Yes.
You can't see it because the light, but it's completely bonkers, some of it. I mean, there are some instructions occasionally.
That one on the left.
Yeah.
That seriously looks like the ABC's electorate.
Seriously. Yeah, that's...
What the hell's that?
And occasionally you'll get some instruction. Like
it's got a few more colours.
Here, but,
yeah.
I mean, this one, there's no instruction.
Way too much yellow.
You've got to work out what to do.
Yeah.
So I might have a go at some of them while I've got it.
Thing.
You can actually download it as a PDF. I won't tell you where to get it, but you can download it illegally as a PDF. I'm not suggesting that people do that because it's in breach of copyright. But
I think we know.
So yes, and what's as your head's asking, oh yeah, how was it? Is that the gig? I think he's asking about the gig. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Nothing else to report. But really good. I've enjoyed this week actually. And it's the sun's been out. We've had the sun out all week. I've got my shorts on, which is rare for me to wear shorts.
God, yeah, haven't we? Yeah. We've had a bit of a mini heat wave, haven't we?
It's been lovely. It's a bit cooler today, actually, with wind down here. But absolutely, it's been lovely. I'm sitting out with my cup of tea and my ginger nut.
Fair enough. No way to talk about your wife.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. She's just made me a cup of tea, so there's no way I would say that about my wife.
Yeah, so Ian, before you disappear, this was what we were referring to.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. So if you look at your book, this is the ABC's website. This is the electoral results.
Yeah.
In some sort of
there it is.
Hexagonal. Yeah, look at that. It's kind of similar.
Absolutely.
It was weird seeing that. Let's head on over to Chris. Hey, how's your week been?
Hey. Hello. How's my week been? Been pretty good. Pretty typical week. Still working on my modules. Some hardware stuff, some software stuff. So it's good to have a mixture of both. Because I use different kind of parts of your brain. Received some meter bars from the assembler. I might just go and have a look at those. Yes. So these came back from the assembler. Nope, that's not it. These came back from the assembler, all populated and working, so it's quite cool. I might just zoom that in if I can work out how to unlock it. Oh, yes, I can. I do know how to use this software. Lovely.
OBS.
Hello. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Scale is sometimes hard to tell how it turns out on the stream. Yep, so hundreds of little LEDs is what they are. But I've had them made so that I don't have to. because that's going to save a lot of time. The other thing I had is, been doing some work on the signal specifications and trying to improve quality of a few of my modules. There's a bit of spectrum analysis going on there. It's the first time I've done an FFT on this oscilloscope of mine, so that's quite good fun. Other than that, Bandcamp Fridays, is that? Been playing a bit with the sump pump finally. So the last bit today and a bit yesterday, having a bit of fun with the sump pump, which of course is over there. Show them what you're talking about. The old sump pump there. Do you want to hear a little bit of a spasm of music, guys?
I will, but I just want to mention one thing, Chris. Your video is lagging behind your audio. So if anyone picks it up, they will notice that his video is not synced up with what he's talking about.
Check. Yeah, it is out of sync, isn't it?
Yep.
Sorry about that, guys. How far out of sync is it?
I haven't worked that out yet. If you click your fingers, maybe I can count.
Is it like seconds or?
1, 2.
Yeah,
3.
seconds. Probably about 2
seconds.
2 seconds, maybe 3.
Okay. No worries. So, yes. Should I play a bit of music anyway?
Yeah, go for it.
So you can hear it's pumping. Some pump's doing its pumping thing at the moment. So there you go. Do that.
Awesome.
Playing around with the sump pump. It sounds quite good quality. Thanks, guys. I was wondering actually whether it was going to sound really kind of pedally and lo-fi, but it's actually really good quality sounding. So I'm quite impressed with the fidelity. So that's definitely not something they copied over from pedal technology, and they've definitely done a good job. Satonics, I believe, is the engineer who worked on that. Props to Satonics, very impressed.
Awesome.
And that, I think, is my week.
Yay! So we are actually all in sync. It's just Chris. But you actually heard his voice was actually live. It's just his video is slightly delayed. Not sure what's causing that.
I think I know why. Do you want me to just try and disconnect and reconnect?
It could
I'll
be
see you in a moment,
be
guys.
that. Yeah. We'll wait for him to come back because we don't really want him to disappear while we're going to do the third clue. When he comes back.
Thanks. I don't want to miss it. Sorry about that. I had to get some water.
Well, we didn't care about you, Andy. We were talking about Chris. Third clue time. It is indeed the third clue for the synth quiz. It's so hard this week. Jeez, if you guys don't get it, I'm going to laugh my head off. That is your third clue, and it's not a typo. Indeed, it's not. That should just
not
about
Momenchans.
That should just about cement it. I feel people chuck your quiz guesses. Put synth quiz, Ranzee synth quiz. Let's do it like this: Ranzee synth quiz, and then your guess after it like that. That should highlight it. So, like Chris has just done it, and he's guessed the make noise mouth. Let's see if your camera's in sync, Chris. Let's try that. Yeah. You're in sync, buddy.
Yeah,
hey.
I know what happened. Apologies. I'll try not to do it again.
Oh, it's probably when you did the video changing around. When you were
No, I was trying to get a screen capture of a web page, and the sound all glitched out, and then everything froze, and then it came back again, and I went, "Ooh, I wonder if that's bad." And it's been fine ever since. I haven't noticed anything, but yeah, that obviously.
Where's Wags? Haven't seen Wags today. He'd be all over this. Half God, Half Beast. You've already put your guess in, and you guessed the Neutron. I believe earlier, so your guess is out the door. So that MS-20 guess is a second suck of the salve, mister. And it's incorrect anyway, so there you go. It's not an MS-20. You poo yourself, buddy. I've been watching, and anyway, have I literally bamboozled you guys? Wagoo would have got this, I guarantee you. He would have got this straight away. Why don't you guys Google it? You'll probably know the answer now. Google it. As soon as you Google it, you'll get the answer. Oh, Ian's gone for the Blofeld. Timberwolf. Robert. You were just trying to troll me.
Troll.
You missed the first question. Yes, I know you did, but the first question kind of doesn't really help you. I feel like the last clue is kind of the big bomb dropping one. That's why I left it to last. Anyway, keep going. Keep trying, boys and ladies, whoever's there. Awkward Teeth and Hair Productions has said, I have no idea. Yeah. Once you've Googled it, you would have got it straight away. I guarantee you. Once you've Googled it. Right, we've got a winner. Let's do it. Right, we've got a winner. We're going to quickly just end it so you guys don't feel bad at all. Okay, what the hell? This title thing is doing my head in.
Here it comes again.
No, it's fixed it now, but geez, it wasn't if I didn't click on it. All right, the answer to the quiz is ARP 2600.
Oh.
Not the Yamaha EX5. I don't know why that's written underneath there, by the way. That's weird. But it is ARP 2600. What the hell?
It's all, it's spreadsheets, okay.
Answer. There. Get that. Do that. Right, okay. So the person who got that correctly was a previous winner of the Synth quiz. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Gilly is our second behind Wagoo in terms of the amount of quizzes that he's won. So good on you. Irrational Social Fear, you got it correctly. Yes, but Kate, this is the kind of weird thing about those three clues, right? So we had lag, inverter, and Momen. And notice that it said Momen, just M-O-M-E-N.
Yeah. Because?
On the Behringer 2600, I mean, technically we should say Behringer 2600 if you really want to get it. There's a button.
See, Wagoo would call that out. Oh. See? That's
well, it doesn't matter. It's a quiz.
He'd get very upset. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's got a Momen button on there. There you go. So lag is the, there's a lag thing. There's an inverter with the yep.
Moment's a trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Shows how much I use mine. Still in a box somewhere.
If I go to me, I can zoom in to that. There it is, there in the corner, the 2600. Well, it's not a 2600. It's a Behringer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a 2600.
Have you seen the prices in Australia of 2600s from the 1970s? No.
Hey, I got my Behringer 2600 for just over $400. So.
What can we do? We can go to here.
Ooh.
And we can zoom across. That's not what I want. Let's zoom out. And go all the way over to the 2600. It's going to be all wonky now because the camera's been bent. It's probably there somewhere. Where's the Momin button? There it is. Right in the corner. See it? Momin. There it is there.
Oh.
Momin. I made a joke. I made a joke about this on my stream a few years ago, actually.
I was going to say, do you have
Daren,
insufficient number of men in the studio? You need
more men. Yeah. Needs more men. Do you remember that, Daren? We were laughing about it.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was, yeah, because you got your, you got yours and I got mine not long after.
Wow.
Yep. Well, there's definitely not enough men in here, and that can stay that way. Thank you very much.
A Blue Marvin.
Yeah, the problem with the Behringer one is it doesn't stand on its own, so I had to buy this little rail system so it would stand up properly.
Yeah. I mean, I can show you where the other things were if you really like it. Does that excite you, that sort of stuff, guys? Seriously? Like, do you want me to show you where it says lag? Is that what you want me to do?
Not needed.
So there's no Momin button on the original?
No, but it's still 2600, isn't it?
That's right.
Isn't there a trigger button, though, at least, called something else, or is it no?
So where's the lag? There's the lag. You can see lag there.
Just trying to find a good picture of the original.
Lag. It's not going to do it now because it's going to go out of focus, isn't it? There you go. Lag. Yeah, and look, right above lag is inverter. There you go.
I should have bought Dom Hawkins and I would have won the quiz.
Oh.
I almost bought it at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some.
Don't think it's
Paul. You know the Paul guy that recently passed. Paul Schrafer. I don't know how you say his last name. Sorry.
Paul Schrader, the musical director for the David Letterman show and other things.
No, not that guy. The guy the engineer guy that does doing modules and stuff. Schaefer or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys will know. The guys will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, they.
Module of the month guy.
Yeah.
Paul Schrader.
Schrader, is it? Yeah. His wife. He's going to post up on his group that he's got a couple of modules that he built, and they're kind of like prototypes, and he's going to sell them. Or she's going to. I shouldn't say he's going to sell them. He can't. She's going to sell them. So keep an eye on his either his Facebook page or the group that he used to run on Facebook. I forget what it's called. Yeah.
He was a hell of a nice guy. And
really cool guy. Yeah. Okay. We can do now. We've got synth quiz done. We've got everything else done. You guys can ask us anything, and we can do the topic. We haven't got a lot of time. About 20 minutes or so. So the topic this week is what's your favorite patch. So we can do that, or you guys can ask us a question in chat, or you can come in on Zoom. Zoom is this, not that, this. There you go. I'll go back to there. That is Zoom there. It's linked permanently in the YouTube chat, but if you're in other platforms, you can join us on bit.ly/Ranzee Zoom. You don't need to have the Zoom app. You can just use your browser. You don't even need a computer. You can just use your phone or a tablet. I've had people Zoom in from... shows in Ian's done it from
pedal show. Yeah, I did actually have. Actually, interestingly, that day I needed to install the app on my phone. I couldn't just use it in the browser because I was on my phone. But
because you wanted to do both, that's why. Because it gives you more features. Yeah. If you've got the app, you can do funky things like get your audio routed and stuff like that. But just if you just want to show your face and talk on the show, just use the app on the browser. Sorry, just use the browser.
Hey, since I brought up earlier, can I play that Leone patch real quick? I got the Waldorf microwave.
Indeed. What button are you?
So, and you can see the waves doing their business here. Let me hit the... And it's stereo panning while it's doing the wave cycling.
Oh, I've heard that patch before.
It's kind of fuzzy here, but you see the waves up there shifting around.
Yeah.
And then it has this cool thing at the higher register, the percussion-y. when you tap the higher notes. So awesome app. Very, very cool.
That's
Leone's Wet Dream.
Is that in their PPG Wave VST as well? I reckon it is.
I've only ever heard it on the Microwave series, so probably not. It's the same waves, but it's that specific patch is a Microwave patch.
Right.
So it's on the XT, the Microwave 1, Microwave 2. Yeah, it's great. Great patch.
No, it's not on there. I just searched for Leone. It's not in there. Unless I spelled Leone
There's
wrong.
several other good ones too, but that's one that stands out to me. It was, when I think of Microwave.
Yeah. Yeah. So favorite patch.
Swims. It's stereo. Swimming
Is that your
around.
favorite? Would you say that's your favorite patch?
My favorite off the top of my head on the Microwave series. There's so many good patches, but that one it's been used in songs, and it's just an iconic patch for the Microwave. So yeah, I do like that one a lot, but not my favorite patch by any means. No.
Okay.
I have several favorites on the Korg 01W. They're amazing.
All right.
But
Shares.
like Jean-Michel Jarre used some of them as well. Dagobah is cool. There's the floaty one that's used in Return to Innocence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like flutes floating around and stuff. Yeah, there are a couple of them on 01W. They're great. But it's like saying your favorite movie, right? It's really hard to pick a favorite patch.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you've done yours. Anyone else want to say what their favorite patch is while I look for mine?
I don't know what mine is.
I literally don't have a favourite patch. My favourite patch is the one that I'm trying to use that's in a tune at the time that I'm using it. That becomes my favourite patch.
Yeah, that's probably similar feeling as well here. But maybe I've got a lot of mileage out of the ESQ1 WAV Bell preset, even though it's very recognisable.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Oh, it's it's so sharp and digital, isn't it?
Yeah, and it just the way it warbles in decay is
Yeah.
very, very unique. Yeah, it's like sounds like it's got a big sky on it, but it doesn't actually have a big sky on it. So
Yeah.
done with just
You guys want to hear mine? You'll probably be able to guess what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, soundtrack is great. The D50 one, not the copies.
This is a D50.
No, I know what I'm saying, but it's also on the JD800, and it's been recreated in the GS General MIDI set horribly.
Yeah,
it's not as
no good. It's no good in that. That still to this day still
really nice.
warms my fuzzies, and I heard that patch many, many, many years ago. I mean, I think Seal used it, didn't he?
It's on Tangerine Dream Canyon Dreams album.
In what was
Used
that
very,
famous
very well.
Seal song called again?
correct.
Crazy?
Kiss to
Crazy.
Rose?
Yeah, not Christopher
Oh,
Rose.
Crazy.
I think it's Crazy. I think he used it on Crazy.
Yeah, that sounds.
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. I'm doing a filter.
But I've heard it on Enya. I've heard it on quite a few things. So yeah, it's done its rounds. It's pretty famous, that patch. That's one of the reasons why I picked it, because I reckon everyone would have guessed it straight away. Yeah. Robbie said E Piano 1. I don't know if he's being serious or not.
Is that DX7? Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Well, for all that ravey stuff, right?
Lately bass? No, not really.
That's probably the worst piano sound ever. Oh, that's controversial, isn't it? I absolutely hated that sound. I don't have a favourite patch, but it's one of my favourite patches, and this is the patch that got me out of trouble at my last EMOM when GeoShred decided to update. The video's out next Monday, but this is the one, and it's called Breath Flute. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's great with
SWAMs. Is that a SWAM?
Yeah, no, it's not actually, because I was using the flute swam on Geos. Yeah. This is on what's this one? Seaboard 5D, which is a cut down version of.
Oh yeah.
The Rolly.
It's free. Free Seaboard app. Yeah.
Although I think Breath Flute is actually one of the presets you have to buy.
Yeah, that's good.
But I love it, and it's not my go-to because the Swan one is. But when it all was going wrong, and I thought, what the hell am I going to do now? I'm using a flute sound, so oh yes, I'll use the Seaboard one.
It reminds me of something else I've heard.
Yeah, it's. I've closed it now, but
I can't put my finger on it too. But it definitely has some similarities to something else I've heard.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 really good. They do it. There's a really good harp emulation as well, harp and pad, which is a.
That gives me like that. The pan pipes feel like.
It is a bit like that. Yeah.
So, I used
and
that.
You can't play that one polyphonically, I think, as well.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And your independent bends polyphonically.
Yeah. It's better on the instrument, mind you, but
very expressive.
Yeah.
Sounds human, Or
it does. Yeah.
Alive anyway.
See if I can find this patch too as well. Where are we? Okay, this one.
I'm afraid Robbie's already bagged that one.
No, that's the reason why I'm playing it, because you mentioned it.
Okay.
Now, I used that. I did a song called Retro a long time ago on one of my earlier albums, and I used that patch on purpose, specifically because it's iconic. It's an iconic retro, patch that it's been in a lot of things. Like it's in Shout, isn't it? That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
By Tears for Fears.
Art of Noise is my favorite version, though.
Art of Noise.
Art of Noise as well. Yeah.
Oh, the Art of Noise. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Moments in Love or something, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the Arturia version of it, by the way. That one, the CMI V.
That's the V.
CMI, which is one of my favourite versions of the CMI as an emulation. Yes. Yeah, it's awesome. I honestly think that would probably be one of my faves too, Robbie. I'd have to agree with you there.
It is a really good patch, but
got a lot of mileage from it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You use it now.
Yes,
but when I did it in that song, I kind of had a poetic license to use it and get away with it.
You put it into a context.
Yeah,
that made sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were justified.
I'm deliberately saying this is retro. This is like one of the lines in the song is out with the new and in with the old. It's a cool little line that I thought was just and that was kind of like. That song was it was actually written in a nod for all that retro computing thing that was coming in at the time. It was such a buzz. There was like people buying Commodore 64s and refurbishing them, and YouTube channels going out galore doing all this sort of stuff. People like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that YouTube channel, Texan guy, Dave, who's called the 8-Bit Guy. I've mentioned him before.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
So he made a lot of money from retro revival computing, so that's what that song was about. It was about the whole retro revive, and definitely if you ever want to sort of point history, there was definitely a period. I don't know if it's still hot now today. I think it's kind of tapering off, but I kind of feel like there was at least a decade of the 2010 2020s that we could say was a real retro revival. And I think even the synth world can put a cap on that one as well too, with a lot of the analog remakes, like Behringer, definitely big behind the retro revival of some of this old synths.
Universe on the M1 is a classic too. Beautiful pad. You know that one?
Yes. I don't have an M1 on my.
Oh yes, Universe. Yes, I used to have an M1. But yes,
Universe Lore. There are a few that are really good on there.
The choirs.
I've got the iPad M1. They're all in there, aren't they?
I've got an M1 VST, but I don't know. Actually, this is probably a good question for you, Ian.
Legacy collection.
it keeps asking me to license authorize it, and I've freaking license authorized this thing, and I've obviously 100 freaking years ago threw the card out because it would have come with some cool.
You need your Korg ID, Rance.
Yeah.
Sort of legacy collection stuff.
Yeah. I just don't use it now because of that. Do you want to quit license authorization? Yes. Fuck off.
We've all been there.
That's Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Many techno tracks have used that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to go to an iconic patch, the question really wasn't what's an iconic patch. The question was what's your favorite patch. And I've kind of
I like that one a lot.
Wrapped it with iconic, but an iconic patch would have been on the M1 would have been that piano sound, right? Because that was in so many dance tracks. It's not funny.
It was.
Yeah.
But okay, what are people else saying on here? I've missed a few. Keith in Watford said that he bought a Moog 1, a used Moog 1, 16 voice from Andertons in the UK, and it came with a set of patches by Jamie, who's Geosynths, which is his favourite patch. Is called Raven's Sight. Good on you, Jamie, by the way. And I wouldn't be surprised, Keith. Is it actually Jamie's used that you bought? Is it actually Jamie's one that you bought? Because I don't know if Jamie keep hold of his Moog 1? I don't think he did.
I'm not sure because he normally gets them from somewhere a bit. He's got an agreement with a local dealer because he sometimes, if he doesn't buy it, he can sometimes try and get it from them for a few weeks to do some patches and stuff like that.
And then he gives it back, yeah.
And then he gives it back, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought because he showed his Moog rack of synths, didn't he?
Mm.
The Muse was there, but it was the.
I don't think he's got the one anymore.
I don't think he's got the one.
No, because his latest purchase is the Model D.
Steve said he saw it. Okay, cool. Maybe he does. So Keith's might just happen just to have the patches on it, but it might not have been Jamie's.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly though, how many Moog 1 16 voices are floating around the UK? There wouldn't be that many, surely. You know, it's not like it. Yeah, it's not like an iPhone, is it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's probably someone who bought it, mate. So what we're asking,
Music Matters, which is just up the road. Well, I say up the road from me.
Music Matters, that's it. Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times. Beast. What synth are we talking about? B-Cat. What are we talking about?
The Behringer Cat module.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, the Octave Cat, but made by Behringer.
The one that I wasn't terribly impressed with. I got in trouble for talking about that on the show a few months ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
It sounds good. At least the original sounds good. I haven't played with the Behringer one.
I just wasn't. Maybe I don't know. I just wasn't that impressed with it. I probably even in the day when it was out. Although I do admit there's a really cool music video that is by one of my favorite bands, and you guys probably may or may not have heard them. They're called Split Ends, and
absolutely.
Eddie Rayner is. I don't know if you guys ever if you guys are real synth nerds and you want to check out someone in the day in the 70s and 80s who really knows how to play synths. Eddie Rayner, the keyboardist from Split Ends, he had some friggin' awesome synths. He had, the Cat actually is on. I'm pretty sure he used. It was either the Oscar or the Cat. I forget which one it was now, but I'm pretty sure it was the Cat he used on "I Got You" as that sync sound.
The album I had.
Wow.
And there's a video somewhere on YouTube. If you guys search it up, "I Got You" is one of their most famous songs. People around the world will know that song. It features an early day of Neil Finn. If you guys don't know who Neil Finn is, he's the guy that started
Crowded House,
and then he more recently he actually replaced Lindsey Buckingham in Fleetwood Mac. That's how well this guy can play guitar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And he's real humble about it too.
Yeah.
Well, I got used funny because it has that synth, but also has a little kind of Farfisa organ in the background too.
Yep. Yeah. But this is the thing. If you ever go and see them on stage, you can't now because they're all in the like 60s and 70s. But Eddie would have this massive, huge, friggin' keyboard rig, like 4 quadric corners of keyboards all around him. And you had, Prophet 5, you had a Jupiter 8, you had I can't remember what concert I went to. I think it was 6 Months in a Leaky Boat, the one I went to when they were doing the Time and Tide tour, which was in early 80s, mid to early 80s, I when it was. And it was incredible, like just his keyboard skills. He plays this, actually on that album there's this piece called Pioneer, which is a piano piece. Very, very accomplished pianist he is. And even like, I don't know, get into the band and go and have a look at some of their older tracks. In the day when they were like these crazy clown wearing makeup, stupid idiot guys from New Zealand, they actually went over to the UK and they recorded a whole bunch of really early Split Enz albums, and they're very progressive, I would call it. I wouldn't even call it progressive rock.
Album. Yeah, the
Second Thoughts.
Second Thoughts, but I've got it as Mental Notes.
Yeah, so Mental Notes, I thought it was their first album.
It says, might be wrong, but I've got Mental Notes, and that was. Oh yeah, you're right, actually.
Anyway, so in those days, they would have had a guy called Phil Judd as one of the lead vocalists on it. Now Phil, he's an interesting character, right? So they had to put up with this guy. So you can imagine being in a band, right, where you've got a whole bunch of personalities. You've got Eddie Rayner, who's this brilliant, accomplished piano player, musician. You've got Tim Finn. The Finn brothers are famous, but Neil wasn't around then because he probably would have been too young. Tim was kind of like the lead vocalist, but Tim could also play piano and other instruments as guitar and things like that as well. They're all from art school in New Zealand. Anyway, Phil Judd, he would, if he felt like it, he would sing in tune and do the proper thing. So they're going into the recording studio and they're paying a massive amount of money for the time. In those days you would pay £100 an hour or something just to get studio time. That's a lot of money in the day in the 70s. And so Phil Judd would be like, he doesn't say, oh, I don't feel like singing. He'll just do something stupid with his voice. Yeah. And on that album, I probably wouldn't be surprised if Tim and Eddie just said, stuff it, we'll just stamp it with his voice like it. There's songs on there where his voice is crazy weird. Like there's some weird shit going on with his voice, right? And then they redid some songs on Mental Notes on their next album called Second Thoughts, and that's the reason why they called it Second Thoughts, is because, well, on second thought, Phil probably should have sung it properly. And he's redone some tracks on there. There's actually a really interesting track on there called Spellbound. It's really progressive though, but hell, man, the synths that you can hear on late 70s, early 80s Split Enz, you guys will absolutely adore it if you're into those retro synths sounds. It's beautiful. It works. It works for me because I know the tracks. But if you guys haven't heard them before, maybe it might be difficult to listen to. But no, it's pretty cool. It's cool because where you guys live, right? You guys live in the UK, US, wherever you're from, right? You haven't been exposed to that music necessarily because we're Australians, and they were huge here, but not necessarily overseas. You probably only heard a few of their stuff. It's interesting, Ian, that you've actually got Mental Notes.
Yeah, I actually preferred Split Enz to Crowded House. I never really got into Crowded House at all. I heard the singles, but I never bought any albums. But now and I think it was probably the time. I can't remember all the bands that I saw, but I may well have seen them, because what would usually happen was I'd see a band and then buy the album. Yeah. And that's probably what happened. If they were over here in the late...
probably saw them in the 70s.
70s, yeah, it'd be sort of 78, something like that. I would have then bought the album. And that's probably how I ended up with it.
Well, Mental Notes was recorded in the UK.
All right, yeah.
Like I said, I'd actually read about this a while ago. It's a studio album, and it's recorded in Festival Studios.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. So who were they signed to? Time.
I'm just trying to think who is the actual label. Yeah. Well, they were something else, and then they got moved across to a label in Australia called Mushroom Records, and their Mushroom Records are famous. But anyway,
I've just read on. Sorry, Rant. I've just read on because my copy does do this. It's got a run-out groove on the end of the record's second size, causing the phase to be looped infinitum on a manual turntable until the stylus is removed, and mine does do that.
Ad lib to fade.
Wow.
Yeah. Brilliant. I had a couple of records like that.
Oh, okay. So you guys would get them on
Pepper's did that.
Chrysalis or Chrysalis.
Chrysalis.
Yeah,
Chrysalis Records. Yeah.
And the studio is Basing Street in London.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And they paid an absolute fortune to be there. And what ended up happening is someone said, "Oh, you guys are really good. Come and record, do an album, blah blah blah." And then it just really didn't do well at all. It was like because it was kind of these guys are dressing up as clowns and they're mucking around.
It was very progressive rock.
It's art, sort of. Yeah, art pop. Yeah.
And if you look at the songs on there, there's nothing really like hit worthy. It really is.
I need to go and listen. I've not listened to it for a long time, but this I need to go and dig it out.
This is their early stuff, right? So this is before.
Yeah.
I think when Neil started playing with them, I think he toned them down a bit. They got rid of Phil, or Phil left. I'm not sure what happened with that, whether it was mutual or not. Phil still earns royalties from it, so whatever happens, it's good. Anyway, on that Second Thoughts album, which is the one you don't have, the next one is actually a song written by Phil Judd, and it's called Sweet Dreams, and it's really interesting because if you know the history, now you know the history about him and how he's just this kind of maniac that just can't be trusted, and they could never lock him down to do something sensible. He does this song called Sweet Dreams, and it's quite brilliant actually. So this guy I can understand how he got in the band because he's actually a very accomplished guitarist, quite a good musician. Actually, his voice is probably, to taste. I don't think everyone would like his voice. Right. It's not like the sweetest voice in the world. But he's very clever with his lyrical writing. So he's a bit of a, I think it's his art school sort of, yeah. He's got some very good ways of choosing words that kind of reflect back to the earlier words in that sentence. So that it's kind of a reflective way of writing. It's kind of like as you listen to the words come out, they surprise you that they meant something what you've just heard. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I love that sort of style of writing. But anyway, that was
produced by Phil Manzanera from Roxy Music. So that's
Manzanera, yeah.
I need to see that song on Apple Music, actually. I need to have a
that would have been before. Oh, no, maybe Roxy would have been around then, wouldn't they? Yeah, Roxy would have been around then.
Roxy was from about 74 onwards. I think.
They were, yeah. Yep. It says here on the Wikipedia, I've just read this actually, so it backs up what I just said. On the, I don't know why Phil Judd would have a MySpace forum, but maybe this is an old thing. There's a link though. There's literally a link. On the MySpace forum, Phil Judd said that Tim Finn was obsessed with making the songs sound better while he had new songs that he wanted to record, and he got frustrated. So he was more about just pumping them out.
Yeah.
And Tim was more about, I'm not happy with the way you sang it. And I've heard Tim talk about Phil, about like he would frustrate us. He wouldn't do what we'd ask. And you could see where the band kind of went, no, you're out, and then they went separate ways.
Yeah, tension.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone who's had experience with being in bands would be...
Oh, God, yeah.
nodding their head going, we had a guy like
Absolutely.
that. We had a guy like that. His name was Fred. His name was Jim, whatever.
There's always one member who would rather be doing a different kind of music. Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, he's brought in another one of those songs again because he really wants to be doing metal. But we're doing a punk band.
Yeah, Second Thoughts doesn't seem to be on Apple Music, which is a shame.
Yes, it is. It's on there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely on there.
I'll look at it later then.
Well, it's a bit like Peter Hook and New Order, right? There's No Love Lost is a famous Warsaw or Joy Division song that they made. But it's more because Hookie's a rocker, like a punk rocker, right? And he never really got the ability to do what he wanted to do. They kind of always pulled away in that sort of electronic dance thing that they were on tangents with, and you can tell.
I suspect. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to finish. Hookie was just recently on social media talking about how he's touring and he's doing the New Order Get Ready album. And if you ever look at any of the New Order albums, that Get Ready album is actually really quite rocky. There's a lot of guitar and it's very heavily rock oriented. Not so much synthy. There's synth stuff in it, but it's not much. And you could tell I knew it was his favorite, and it was the last album that he did with New Order. So
I was just going to say, I suspect it's really difficult to be in a band with Barney. I just think he'd be difficult to be in a band with.
With Bernard Sumner, or he doesn't like it when you call him by his original name, which is Bernard Albrecht.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He changed his name to Sumner, and it was because in the 70s, there was still an era that people didn't like the Germans.
Yeah.
This is in the 70s, right? This is how society changes, right? Nowadays, no, people in the UK wouldn't care if you're German, right? But in the 70s, the war wounds were still raw, even, 25, 30 years down the track.
Yeah.
We had that in Australia too. I had an auntie. She's German. She changed her name in the 60s. She changed her name because she had a German surname, and she changed it to something more English. Zivor. Tear down Zivol.
Do not mention Zivor.
We have plenty of Z problems here now, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilly, outside Oz, mate. Outside NZ would be more accurate, though, because don't forget Split Ends originally were in New Zealand. They didn't actually... Australia more or less claimed them. But, I mean, Neil lives in Australia, but I think Tim lives still in New Zealand. Yeah, but it was more just telling you guys, because I was just wanting, I know you guys are in search for some amazing synth, well recorded, well played keyboardists, and Eddie Rayner definitely ticks that box. He really does. Even with that album you've got, Ian, if you listen to it again, you listen to the keyboards and the piano, and it's actually quite good. In the early days, and he got better and better and better over the years.
How do you compare him to Andrew, the guy from NXS?
Andrew Farris. Andrew was more a bit like me and Daren. Andrew is a bit of a two-finger keyboardist.
Oh, was he really? I haven't seen too many.
Oh yeah, so. And he was, and he's from.
He also played guitar and other stuff too, right?
Oh no, but guitarist is fantastic. So nothing compares, right? He's a guitarist. Yeah. But when he touched the synth, it was a two-finger job. He had a lot of the synths he played were mono synths too, so it didn't really matter, right?
Yeah, had one hand on his guitar.
He's from Perth too. He's from my city, where I live here. Really? He actually comes from here, yeah. He's one of the biggest acts from this city we can ever lay claim to. INXS. But there's two boys in INXS, the Farris brothers. There's Andrew and
saxophonist.
The sax Ian, isn't it? Ian?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Now you got me.
The Farris brothers.
The Farris brothers.
Farris brothers.
I do remember seeing
that's actually what the band was
AC/DC.
called. That's actually what the band was called before they were called NXS. Did you know that?
Really?
I bet a
No.
lot of people don't know that. They were called the Farris brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw AC/DC in
Tim.
York.
Tim Farris.
It was the rowing club. It was obviously original band, really early, knew nothing about them, just turned up. And they were so loud that we only stayed for the first
Oh,
half.
Bon Scott was there? You saw Bon Scott?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we know,
That's
but
cool.
I mean, there was only about maybe 50 people
He
there.
died in 1980, didn't he, Bon Scott? So it would have been...
So this is really, really early.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Nobody really knew who they were. Maybe it was the first tour, I don't know. But
Well, he's also from
God,
Perth.
they were so
Bon Scott.
loud.
Yep.
Did they still play in the schoolboy outfit back then? Is it the...
that was-
was that a
I
later
genuinely
thing?
can't remember whether he did. So I think
That's
it might-
Angus.
it might
No,
not
that's
have been.
Angus. Angus
Yeah,
Young.
Angus, yeah.
He's the guitarist that played in
I
the
don't know if he
Schoolboy.
was doing it at that point, but because I don't remember that much
Yeah, 'cause
about the gig. but-
Malcolm's dead, right? Did Malcolm die? Well,
Malcolm, the drummer, yeah. He was living in New Zealand when he passed, Malcolm. But he's not from New Zealand. But the Young brothers, there's a lot of them actually. They had so there's a couple of guys that are all kind of related, right? So AC/DC obviously is the big name, okay. But there was also this group called Flash in the Pan. Chris will know it. They had some songs in the 70s like Down Among the Dead Men and Hey St. Peter and all that, and they were like the Young brothers. So they used to do these like bootleg writing things on the side because AC/DC was kind of a certain style and they didn't always want to do it.
They could do any styles. I think
they were very talented
guitarists, and they all like tried to outdo each other.
Yeah,
like brothers do. And of course, that meant they got really good.
Did you guys have a censorship problem down there with AC/DC's lyrics and stuff? Is it
not really?
Radio play, no problem.
I think we just
warning on them.
I think we just gave them poetic license, right? Because they were so popular.
Yeah,
They came to the UK to record the early stuff. I remember.
Oh yeah. Before Bon died, they recorded in the UK, and when they got Brian, the new singer, that's when they moved over to the US. They moved over to the US, and
that's Brian one of the roadies or something like that, and stepped in to.
I don't know about that.
Nah, there's a documentary you can go watch it about how he was selected as a singer. Okay. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
He was in another band, I think.
Yeah,
he was in a band up in Newcastle area called Geordie. I think he was in Geordie.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Somebody, yeah,
sounds familiar.
And I think they probably toured together. Geordie probably supported.
Might have opened for him or something. Yeah,
talking about
that type of thing. It was something like that.
They had someone before him. I just remember that. I can't remember who it was, but it was only a brief thing, and it was never ever like officially proclamated or anything. They just had some guy fill in, and he could never ever really deliver the feeling.
It's that vocal, isn't it? It's that voice.
Yeah. Did you like that NXS show where they're hunting for the singer for a while? Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. And they got
that.
They got that guy. I forget his name now, but he was. I think he was on American Idol, and he might have been Australian actually. The guy they got. But anyway, he ended up singing for Queen. That guy as well. So not only did he sing.
Oh, Lambert.
Lambert, yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Adam Lambert.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, it has a brilliant voice. That guy.
Yeah, massive range.
Yeah.
Control. Impressive.
Well, definitely more expressive than the other Queen fill-in they had for George Michael, right? So
that was one show. Wow. It was the Live Aid, wasn't it? No,
yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
You know, if you ever speak to George about what George thinks about his songwriting and his singing ability, it'll be a completely different perspective.
You're high on himself. Yeah,
he was very high on. There was a song that I think it was Careless Whisper. There was a song he made that he didn't get success with at first, and so he just kept pushing it in front of the record producers until one day someone went, "Oh, this is a masterpiece," and it became a huge hit. And he knew
he did that as a solo, didn't he?
Yeah,
it wasn't a Wham song. It was his first solo single. Was
you know the story about the key it was in, and the sax. So he actually ended up changing the key, the song to fit the sax solo.
The sax solo,
he liked the sax solo so much, and that certainly does make the song. So it was a good move.
Yeah.
So he was smart in that way.
Yeah,
a good musical intelligence, Michael.
Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to have to go because I've got to get up at like 6 in the morning, which is only 5 hours and 44 minutes away, and I've got to coach a soccer game.
Come on, you can buy 1 hour sleep. I did, so.
Yeah, but you didn't have to coach a soccer game.
5:15. Yeah.
I'm barely managing, so don't worry about it.
You did good, and I'm enjoying you doing the price watch section. I think it's really good. I think everyone else is enjoying you doing it too.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. It's fun.
Keep doing it, mate.
Gives me an excuse to get out there and find some more crap to look at. So
awesome. All right, guys. Well, next week will be the Super Booth show. So
bring out
watch
your
out for that.
Bring out your beer and your lederhosen.
Yeah. Bring out your dead. Bring out your albatross.
I'm sure I've just offended many Germans with that joke. Yes.
Yeah.
Apologies. Okay. Apologies.
Gilly, we've already got some other parent on the duty of the fruit, so I'm on it. I'm on it. Anyway, my son's in the team, so hopefully. All right, guys. All the best. Enjoy, and don't forget to hit record. Pro tip of the day.
Indeed.
Thanks, guys.
See you later, everybody.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone.